Like, I don't know where the show's at because I'm reading the manga. So there's quite a few points where people look ridiculous.
What's going on, people? Welcome to Throwdown Your Questions, episode 203. I'm your host, Tony Polanco, joined by Emilio Lopez,
Push the button.
Chris Seeley,
Hey, what's up, everyone?
Carlos Romero,
What up, what up?
Brian Manjoma.
We had a really odd discussion about that, like that Mario hat that turns people into like women. Really odd discussion.
And Brett Murdoch.
You can't stop the otanime.
Yeah, by the way, I love the fact that I could have you guys muted so nobody heard any of that shit.
Tony just literally started in the middle of us talking about an anime conversation. Tony's taken, and I love this, he's gone away a couple of times. He's taken the approach of, you just can't stop these motherfuckers. And I've tried. I've been like, yeah, no, sure you can. Hold on, we're going to save this for the show. You're right. It doesn't work. We're all a bunch of animals.
Yeah, pretty much.
No, I just think that some people just don't get the clue.
Oh, hey man, I had to interject for my own sake because you motherfuckers were about to spoil shit. I know it, I knew it, so I had to stop it. Plus,
we were already past that point.
Nah, man, I know you, Brett. I'm telling you, you're Mister.
I don't know why you think I'm a bad spoiler. Just because I made up spoilers a couple of times and they happen to be fucking true.
No, dude,
doesn't mean I actually spoil shit.
It's because you're the worst type of spoiler. The guy who doesn't realize he's doing it. If you're doing it on purpose, that'd be one thing. You don't know you're doing. You're purposely trying not to, and you do it anyway.
It's like, yeah, it's about that time, that one person dies, and you're like, ah, someone dies.
I don't say shit like that. I say like towards the end of the first act or when the climax happens. Y'all got me confused with someone else.
Oh man, I consider you dangerous spoiling, man, because you don't even know you're doing it.
You're just still mad about that Game of Thrones shit. Yeah. When I said ice dragon, I had no fucking clue there was an actual goddamn ice dragon. All right,
I'll stab you. How about that? With an ice pick? Oh man. All right. Oh yeah, Adam will be here in a bit. He's putting his kids to bed, I believe, or something. Kids and shit. Also, if you guys will indulge me, I actually want to fully answer Mebs' question from last week because I answered in like a minute and he went through a lot of trouble to go into the question itself. So if you'll indulge me, I'll just we're not gonna go like 10-minute fucking answer here, but he did ask me about me and game journalism and all this other stuff, and it kind of led to some interesting conversation stuff last week that maybe we'll bring up now, but I just want to get this one out of the way. So I'm going to read his question without reading it like the fucking Manny. What's the name of that robot from Transformers? The micro machines guy.
Like the micro machines.
Yeah, because I was reading it mad fast, so I'm not going to do that.
There we go.
Blur. Yeah. By the way, I saw that movie, man. It was fucking awesome, man. In theaters, it's crazy.
One shall stand and one shall fall.
Yeah. All right, man, let me get into it. So he goes, Mebs, Tony, you review and report on games as an occupation, and now you're a part of the gaming industry. You're doing something which very few of us get to do, which is something you love as a full-time occupation. I'm curious about something. For me, gaming is a hobby, a pastime which I enjoy in my spare time. I enjoy my few hours of gaming and then look forward to it again after a day's work. How does someone in your position keep things fresh so playing games doesn't become a chore? How do you keep your passion and joy for gaming, considering that it's your main job, regardless of how good or bad a game is? Do you ever get bored of the actual act of playing / reporting on games? Have you ever experienced gaming fatigue whereby you don't want to play games anymore and take a complete break? Great questions.
You answered this last week.
Yeah, I did, but I answered in like 30 fucking seconds, so I want to actually really answer it this time because, again, this guy put a lot of work into it. He even asked me, like, Tony, is it okay if I ask you this? Like, hit me up private. So I'm like, okay, I don't want to give this guy...
Mind my business. Mind your business. Shit. I don't ask you how you shit. Don't ask me how I shit.
You crazy. How you doing, Adam?
I'm all right.
All right. So anyway, no, like I said, man, gaming is a passion, so it doesn't really feel like work. It only feels like work when I'm reviewing a game I don't want to play. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it's a game I really want to play, which is like 95% of them, it's not really a problem. It's the only kind of difference is I have to rush some of them to meet a deadline or whatever. So that is a little weird. But at the same time, as Manny can tell you, I already play games fast anyway. So that's not really too different. The only difference is I have to kind of not to do the side stuff as much and just focus on the main story. But yeah, Manny, what are you going to say?
No, I was gonna say, yeah, you've always kind of played games really fast, and you've never. It's like everybody used to say, "Yo, man, you beat that game already." It's like, what? I was taking my time on that one.
I was, yeah. In my mind, I'm taking my time. Granted, I'm playing it like 12 hours a day, but in my mind, that's still, you know what I'm saying. Let's see, reporting on news, I don't never get tired of that because I like giving my opinions on shit. So that doesn't go away. But there are, okay, here's the thing. I've never gotten tired of playing games, but there are points where I'm glad to not have to play any games, if that makes any sense. You know, like a couple weeks ago, I didn't have anything to play. I'm like, this is nice. You know what I'm saying? But then,
I got a question.
Go ahead, Ben.
Do you think that you're the exception to the rule there, though?
No, I don't. I know plenty of guys in my position who still love. I consider them even harder core gamers, and they do the same thing I do. But there are definitely guys who they get fucking sick of it. You know what I'm saying? But so I think I'm like more in the middle when it comes to the extremes. To be honest.
Well, from what I've heard and from a lot of people that have moved on in the industry that I've seen, they get tired of doing the reviews. They like being in the industry, but they get tired of just doing the reviews, especially if there's games that they don't like, and the fact that some games are long and they have to put in time to get to that point of completion.
Yeah, I know guys like that. Like Torrance, for example, he hates the review process. He really hates it. I don't, because to me, I don't feel I've written. This is gonna sound stupid and maybe corny. I'm still trying to write the perfect review. I haven't reached that point. So every review, exactly, and I think that's what keeps me going. Just the fact that I know I can't do it, but I'm trying to do it keeps me going. Like, okay, how can I make my review better than the last review? And I think that drive is what keeps reviews interesting. But I definitely know a lot of guys that are just they hate reviews with a passion. They love every other aspect. They even love writing shitty regurgitated news over reviews because they just get tired of it. I'm not there yet because I still feel that I haven't written the perfect review yet. You know, I'm still trying to do that better. You know, but no, you go ahead, Brett.
Oh no, I find that I get that part. The other part I think is maybe I'm the odd man out here, but I'm personally of the mindset that the cold hard reality is that anything that you love, that if you do for a living, you will enjoy a little bit less. But the trade-off is that you're going to be able to appreciate it more when it's done well. You like comic books? Great. Start working in comic books? Awesome. You're going to enjoy lackluster comic books a little bit more, but when something really does something really well, you'll be able to notice and appreciate what they did. So I think overall, my personal experience and the people that I've talk and run with, and every artist, creative that I know, it does take a little of the magic out of it. But at the same time, in my experience, take this podcast, for example. Like, yeah, sometimes it does take a little of the magic out of the news, because there used to be a time when I would like wake up and troll the news and be like, oh my god, this thing is coming up. It would hit me out of nowhere. Now I'm a little bit in the know. Now it's a little bit kind of my job to know it. But the thing is, if I'm not on the podcast for 2 weeks, I start getting really itchy, like I want to talk about news and I need to talk about shit. So there's a certain sort of fatigue that comes on, but it doesn't mean that you love it any less. It just means that you're kind of purging that love, and it leaves you a little drained. So I have no way to say it other than a lot of people that I know, and I think Tony's the exception here, like something just a hair less if they're doing it as a job. But that still is margins above doing a job that you don't like. Going to work and being like, oh man, this is great. I mean, it was amazing when it was a hobby. Now it's just fucking great. But still getting paid for fucking great is pretty fucking great.
Yeah. Yeah, like, I don't know. I think I like the act of gaming I like more than I used to. You know, I think that's the fact. The actual like journalism thing, yeah, that could get fucking grating sometimes. You know what I'm saying? But you know, the question is specifically about gaming. That hasn't faded, but some of the luster I had for being a game journalist definitely fucking faded, and that was within the first year. You know, it was like, whoa, this is some bullshit. But I love gaming so much. You have
to do it. Well, nobody's ever going to get sick of gaming, I don't think, in general as a hobby, because it's so diverse. Like if you were doing just one type of game, like maybe, but like you can play, a puzzle game and then go on to a fighting game and then go play a shooting game and then go play a driving game. And you can play 4 different kinds of shoot 'em up games.
Oh, we got a question about that. But here's the thing, though, and you guys can tell me what this means. Okay, I think it's pretty obvious now. I am not going to be reviewing Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Ubisoft never sent me the game. And I'm like, that's fantastic. You mean I get to just buy the game and play it and not have to fucking, jot down notes and write about shit? I look forward to that. You know what I'm saying? And even though I'm pretty sure I'm going to get it, if Rockstar does not send me Red Dead Redemption, I'm like, okay, what's the worst that's going to happen? I get to buy it on launch day and play along with everybody else? Yeah. That's not bad. I have no problem with that. You won't
get to play it online, though.
I don't.
You can't actually play it along with everybody else, just at the same time separately.
Not really. By the way, that's another thing that's crazy. Like, I play shit and I can't tell anybody else about it for 2 weeks. That's kind of annoying. And then like you guys are like going crazy about Spider-Man. I'm already like, that shit's packed.
You're the one that wanted to plat it a week before it came out.
Yeah, but you know how
principle.
But that's not on principle. You know how I am, bro. I go crazy. Actually, there was a little bit of principle. I'm not gonna lie. But that's just the way I am. I'm a binge gamer. And Manny, I've been like that all my life. Yeah,
it's always been that way. I've always that's all. I always to me, before the word casual gamer was always kind of co-opted by phone game people. I always considered myself a casual gamer, a person who plays whenever he has the chance, or doesn't just go ham on a game. But that's kind of always played.
Do you like the things concurrent to your job less? Do you like cartoons and animated films and things like that less or more since you actually started working in the industry, in the relevant industry? Like, I'm curious your opinion as a creative.
No, actually I don't. I still enjoy comics. I still enjoy animation and stuff. It's just for comics I just don't read them as much because there's just a lot that needs to go into for a comic. Like, it's not just going to a store and picking up one book. It's like going, especially if I want to stay on top of it, I got to go in every day, and I don't exactly have a close comic book store. So so
you're still passionate about it. You're not as casual a consumer as you once were.
No, like before, I'll say, like, when I worked in animation, we used to have a comic book store that was very close to us, and we'd go there every single Wednesday, like usual. It's really just because it's not really as available as it was when I still lived in New York.
Okay, and I'm sorry to fight you on this, but are you really telling me that you can look at a picture now that you know how to draw as well as you do, and like a mediocre picture as much as when you didn't know how to draw? Like, as an artist, have you ever pulled out something you're like, oh man, this is the coolest picture ever? Then you look at it and you're like, oh, this is not as good as I remember it.
Well, I mean, especially with older comics, like a certain specific artists, it's like, but I understand what I enjoyed about these things and what it was that made these sorts of things interesting. So I could still look at it with a fair, it's like, oh yeah, this doesn't look as good as it was before, but I was also mentally in a different place than I was then. You know what I mean? Like, as a kid, you look at some of these artists, you're like, oh my God, this is the greatest artwork ever. You look at it like, it's like, you know what? It's not as good as I thought it was, but I understand what aspects of it I did enjoy.
That's fair. Apparently, I'm the weird one.
I think I was about to say you're the weird one. Like, why, if you really love something, why would you love it less because it's your job?
Here's the thing. It's about, like, there are things within the industry that can sour.
Yes.
That can sour the love for these things. but you have to not let those sorts of things get to you. As as me, Chris, and Tony have worked all in these industries of things that we've enjoyed. Granted, we've had these things within the industry that frustrate us.
Yes.
But at the same time, not letting those sorts of things get to you.
Yeah, I don't, because at the end of the day, at least for me, it's like the games are still good. So that's what keeps going. Some of the industry stuff is fucking bullshit. I feel it's getting even more bullshit every day. But the actual game itself, the actual act of sitting down in front of my TV with a controller in my hand, playing a game, that has not changed at all. Like I said, I actually appreciate it more now. Because I have a lot more access to games. I kind of appreciate it more on that way, and it's fun, man. It's fun playing all this shit and then just opining about it. Like, granted, having to meet a fucking deadline, those other stuff, gets annoying sometimes, but I still like to give my opinion. If I wasn't writing my opinion, I was gonna, I probably would just been doing YouTube or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like getting it out there.
This is why I have to do sanity art, because like tattooing gets down on you, man. Like, I love interesting tattoos, but I get so sick of the small mediocre things and the things that everybody gets.
Well, I mean,
I call that sanity gaming. Like right now, I'm playing. I already reviewed Valkyria Chronicles, and I'm playing it for fun, and it's great. I'm like, I don't have to do any more shit.
But that by its nature means that you enjoy it less than regular gaming.
What do you mean?
You have to do it for a job.
No, it's because you're being forced to do it. For work.
But I don't enjoy. I didn't enjoy Spider-Man any less. It's just like I did in the back of my mind. I still like. I wish I could play this a little bit slower, but I could do that now. You know what I'm saying? I could play it to my heart's content right now. So it's a balance. Because on the flip side, it is cool to get the shit early. It is cool to have your opinion out there before everybody else. It is cool to get the game before everyone else. So it kind of balances that out. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, I'm playing it. I can't talk about it with anybody. I can't talk about it publicly, but it's offset by the fact that I get it early. So it's a balance. Like I lose one thing, I get another. You know what I'm saying? But then on the other hand, it's like if I leave the industry or whatever, okay, I no longer get the game, so I lose that. But then I get the advantage of being part of the conversation with everybody else. So it's you're gonna always lose something. You're always gonna gain something. Yeah. It's always a balance. I mean, that's how the world is in general. You know what I'm saying?
That makes more sense to me.
Yeah. All right. Cool, man. Mebs, I hope you enjoyed that extended answer. That's the one I wanted to give you. I didn't want to just rush it. Carl, we got you on those answers, brother. Anyway, the next one, the first official one from Mebs. This is a leftover question, kind of on the same tip. What is the longest break from gaming that you guys have had?
By choice or by just
choice. Like I just don't want to fucking play. Yeah, I know, Manny. I'm glad you asked it because you're forced right now to take a game break.
For me, it's a forced hiatus. It's not actually a hiatus that it. For me, it's like if I can easily lose myself in a game, right? Especially a story-driven game. So I make the literal decision to not get involved because I know everything would go to the wayside and I would not do the things that I would. The things that are important, like getting money and, keeping the roof over your head, So, yeah, it's kind of a forced hiatus than anything.
But what about a voluntary one?
Voluntary. I don't think I've ever voluntarily pulled myself out of it because I don't play in general. I've never played games like a lot. It was just like one thing I did with a lot of other things that I do. Let's say like reading something or something else, like just one other distractor, like going to the movies or something.
Yeah. All right, Chris.
I'd say maybe like a couple of weeks just to like go on vacation. So when I go when I travel, right, I'll bring my Vita, my 3DS, but I don't play them that much. Usually just some entertainment. But usually go on vacation like you have activities like, oh, I'm going to Disney or I'm going to see family or whatever. So you don't end up spending a lot of time doing that stuff except on the plane. So it doesn't really count. So for days I'm not playing, but that was like my choice, right? Or me and my wife, we go somewhere traveling. That's by choice. But so I'm leaving all my systems basically behind and taking a break from all that. But it's not a break from gaming where I'm like, oh, I'm sick of this. It's just like, oh, sick of work or something. You know, I need to get away from all that shit. So that's like the longest. Forced, it's like, you know, a semester of college. My mom wouldn't let me bring my PlayStation with me to school or anything. When I got home in the summer, I went ham, but I couldn't bring that shit with me. She wouldn't let me bring my systems to school. You know, with like Manny said, with work, sometimes you just got to be like, oh shit, I can't play anything right now. But yeah, just voluntary is simply for me. It's just traveling.
Yeah, I would say travel might be a voluntary, but I haven't traveled very much.
All right, Carlos.
What was the question again? I got them mixed up on the short notes. So.
What's the longest you've voluntarily gone without playing games? Like you were sick of them or whatever. Like you needed a break.
I don't know. Sometimes I go on like just periods where I just don't play because I just don't feel like it. I think a few years ago, maybe like the beginning of this generation, I kind of took a break because they're just something like nothing was interesting me a lot. So I just took a break from gaming. But it wasn't like super long. Maybe it was a couple of months. The only other time I can think of where I didn't play games for an extended period of time was in high school, like late high school and early college. And that's just because I would go out every fucking day and I couldn't really play. So it was just, I had like just completely different priorities.
That's right. Loose women. We know. Don't gotta sugarcoat it. We get it. We got you, Carlos. Yeah.
All right, Adam, since you're talking, what about you?
Never had that issue.
All right. That's simple enough.
That's it.
Yeah, Adam could be in the ER and you'll take his fucking switch with him.
Shit, I remember times where I was going through almost like a homeless situation, trying to figure out where to go. Ex-wife took the apartment, whole thing, and I still fucking had my PSP with me. It's like, fuck it. It's my escape. That's it.
All right.
No reason to escape the escape.
Yeah, Brian.
I don't really have breaks like that because I just tend to go in spikes. Like sometimes I'll be on like a gaming spike and then I'll do like a movie spike and then TV spike. So I guess because I just like go through waves, it's always just a spur of the moment and it usually lasts no more than like 2 months, 3 months maximum. So yeah, I've never really like fallen out of love with gaming. I just have times when the games that are out, I just don't want to play. So hence, I just switch genres. And like, hey, you know what? I'll play some. I'll watch some anime or I'll watch some films, and that's me.
All right, Brett.
I took off the second half of 2016 to about the middle of 2017 from gaming completely, actually. So I think there was probably about a year there. I mean, you'd actually know better than me. I kind of lost my way there for a little while, and I just couldn't get engaged with games. I don't think I really got back into gaming until just about Breath of the Wild. That was a game that pulled me out of my funk.
All right. For me, it depends and stuff. Because sometimes, like, I just want to get into other shit. So I'll take like a mini game break, usually when there are no games I'm interested in. And here's the funny thing about backlog, because I have a big backlog, but at the same time, it could feel like work. You know what I'm saying? So like, I don't want to be forced into this shit. I'm gonna do something else. But I know it happened like a lot in like 2013. Right before the PlayStation 3 came out. I mean, PlayStation 4 came out. Then, obviously, a month after PlayStation 4 came out, yeah, there was no games to play anyway because there was nothing on it, I know, like, I think the first biggest one I took was when the Sega Saturn died. Not Sega Saturn, when Sega Dreamcast died. Actually, to be fair, though, when the Sega Saturn died, I played, like, just Marvel's Capcom. X-Men Street Fighter for a year straight because there was nothing else to play. But yeah, after Dreamcast died, I convinced myself that I was not going to be a gamer anymore. I'm like, oh well, that's it. Sega's there. What the fuck am I going to play? I'm done. You know, like I'm like I can't buy a PlayStation. That's crazy talk.
And then Gears of War came out and changed your life.
Right. I became the biggest Xbox ever, right? And then, but on that end, obviously, Microsoft came out like Xbox. Who the fuck is going to buy this shit? An American console? Get out of here. You know,
people bought Atari. What the hell?
Yeah, they did, but I wasn't thinking about that. But yeah, so I guess that was the longest time, but it wasn't that long. Was it? It was like 6 months, and then a friend of ours found some very cheap PlayStations that me and Manny bought. You know, and that ended that, and then. Before PS3 came out, there was a little bit of a hiatus when I didn't play anything. Yeah, but I just get into other shit, you know. But I never really like, I'm sick of gaming. Fuck gaming. That never really happened, you know.
He was all doom and gloom at the time when the Dreamcast.
Oh, I was upset. I'm like, that's it, man. No Sega. What am I gonna do?
Because that's how much of a Sega man he was. He wasn't even willing to go and buy a PlayStation or at the time you didn't care for whatever Nintendo console was out.
Get out of here, Nintendo.
Yeah,
that would have been what, GameCube.
Yeah, I didn't care about no fucking Nintendo. Nintendo was a joke at that point. You know,
GameCube hadn't come out yet. It was like Nintendo 64.
Yeah, it's still the 64.
Yeah, it was still the 64. Yeah, and that was our like butt of the joke console. You know, the N64. Remember, we used to make fun of that shit all day, every day. You know, foggy ass graphics.
Yeah, my brother had it.
Yeah. All right, man.
Cataract gaming right there.
Yeah. All right, let's move on, man. Because we have a lot of questions. We still getting more. All right, my man, him deal with these long ass motherfucking question right here. All right, do you think developers who bank on microtransactions will budge on crossplay? Seems to me if they go the way of Fortnite, where you only see default characters when you crossplay, then their bottom line remains unchanged. I know some may argue this will keep more players in some games as MP longer, but I call bullshit on that logic. The only games I realistically see benefiting from crossplay are Fortnite, PUBG, Rocket League, Minecraft, GTA, and Overwatch. Only games which are fringed MP runaway successes, games like that are in the zeitgeist will are the games people want. I really feel like this is a situation where the minority streamed the loudest and got something they aren't even going to use. Now this puts another checkbox on the list of things third-party developers have to manage. Then I think to myself, if games continue to be developed with a Switch in mind, I see it as the anchor attached to the speedboat that are the other two consoles for the foreseeable future. I don't understand the Switch part, but let's talk about the main part here, where he feels that only the big games are going to get crossplay, and he also feels that it's going to force some developers into putting a feature in there they may not be ready for. What do you guys think about all this?
I think the whole thing for me, at least, is the whole cross progression. That's the key. That's the key part that everybody was bitching. It wasn't so much about playing with friends on the other system. It's the fact that they want to play the game on another system and don't want to have to start over. They don't want to have to rebuy everything when they already own the outfits and stuff like that on the other one. It's like, well, if I'm still signing into Epic, why can't I just bring my character over? And that's the key right there, the fact that you can now. And that's going to be key for later on. And I could see a lot of people, we talked about this before, double dipping, triple dipping. Let's say you're playing a game on the PlayStation and you got a high level and some of your buddies are playing it on Xbox. The game is now on sale on Xbox. Like, shit, I can get it on there and just carry over my guy. Yeah, you could just sign in and your guy carries over. All right, then, yeah, I'll jump on. That's a double dip right there. And then you can buy stuff on that console. You may want to get some other weapons or whatever, but the fact that you went and you bought the game on it and your profile carries over, that's key. I really hope other developers start opening up their doors to do this. I mean, think of how many games we sign in right now that really are not signing in save-wise on the console, like Diablo, Blizzard games. You're all signing in on their server. Ubisoft games, you're signing in on their server. Destiny, you're signing in on it. You could easily just go onto another system, another console, whatever it is, and then just put in your credentials, and then there's your profile. It's all there. Why does it have to be locked? It only has to be locked because either Microsoft or PlayStation say it is. It doesn't have to be that way. And the fact that it's opening up now, this is great. This is going to open up a lot of doors later on. I could care less about all the other things, but for me, this is the key.
Yeah, couldn't care less, by the way.
I mean, it's I do think it's a lot of you know, a lot of people yelling because they just figured out that that this sort of stuff is possible. But I don't think a lot of people are just going to specifically go out and do it. You know, like, oh, hey, I'm going to jump onto this. I'm going to jump onto this. You know, maybe you're going to see, you know, for the most part, it'll just mean that there's going to be PlayStation and Xbox guys and Switch guys all running around in the same world, or the mobile guys all running in the same place. But I don't think, I think this situation is kind of a mountain out of a molehill. It's a little bit bigger than it really, really needs to be. And on the other side of this, I don't know if it exactly means that, you know, the experiences on per console is going to be any different, because you got to remember, when the way online stuff works, they're not sending over graphics or character, you know, stuff over to the other things that, you know, to synchronize them. It's just sending over the movement data of where you are and stuff like that. So it doesn't really matter what you know what it is. It's an interesting sort of thing, but I don't really. I mean, I could. It's fine with me. It doesn't really matter if it's there or it's not. It's not going to make me buy a game because I can play with a friend of, you know, a friend I know who owns an Xbox or a Switch. Seriously.
Surprisingly, I disagree.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I know. Shocker to everybody, right? I think that here's where I foresee this going. Once crossplay becomes a big thing, or becomes normalized, the big companies, Sony and Microsoft, Nintendo, they're going to probably take the stance of, we'll allow it, but we're not going to pay for it. We're not going to support it. We're not going to do any of this stuff. If the developer wants to go this route, they can, but maintaining that infrastructure is on them, which is understandable. So you're probably going to see games that are heavily microtransaction based, that have a lot of these, you know, costumes and things like that. Those will be the ones that put the extra time into their infrastructure to make sure that those cosmetic items transfer over, because those games are getting streamed, because they want everybody to get psyched about the iridescent rainbow vest that's coming out this fall kind of thing. Games like Fortnite. So I think that you will see the games like Fortnite, the games that are generally free to play but microtransaction based, will probably be the ones pushing for, and the only ones having the infrastructure for crossplay. Because even, let's be honest, a game like Fallout, it would be nice, but what incentive does the developer have to take that extra step and spend that extra money? They don't really have one. So you got to look at games that do have that incentive. Those are going to be the games that explore this once it's more allowed, and those are the games that are pushing for it right now. So,
well, it's a cross market share in a sense. Like, for example, Fortnite, you give incentive to people to get Fortnite in the consoles they already own. So, like, let's say someone has an Xbox, right? But all their friends are playing Fortnite on the PlayStation. But he doesn't want to spend that money to buy another console to play with his friends. And the only reason he would ever even play that game is to play with his friends. Now you can just buy it on the Xbox and play with them. So, like, for third-party developers, it's much easier to advertise games because you can play them anywhere. That you don't have to spend the extra $200, $300, $400, however much these consoles cost to play socially. I think a lot of our sort of, other than Brett's maybe, are like kind of biased towards like the isolationist kind of experience, because a lot of us are not multiplayer focused gamers.
No, I'm cool with it. I think it's all about building, bridges, not building walls. So,
yep, put that in a postcard, bro.
Yeah, that sounds like a campaign slogan. The part of his question that stuck out to me was that he feels that that this was just came about because of a vocal minority. That's kind of interesting.
This has been around for years.
I kind of agree, though. Because I'm noticing. No.
When did Rocket League come out?
Yeah, no. Let me explain. Basically, I noticed that all the people that I saw on my timeline screaming about this, they're not saying nothing now. How come they're not saying, "Oh, this is great, Sony. Thank you, Sony. This is fantastic."
Because people don't take the time to go to the internet to go, "I'm satisfied with this."
Yeah, I think it's something else. I think it's a lot of the guys, at least on my time that I saw, were using this as ammo. It's no longer ammo, so they're not talking about it.
Let me
fanboys.
Let me mention this. Both of these sides are fanboys. Like all of these are fanboy talks. It's like, yeah, like a lot of the Xbox fanboys were knocking on Sony for not having crossplay.
Yeah.
Now all the Sony fanboys are like, oh, some big win you have. Nobody wanted this shit. It's just a whole bunch of like little people that like wanted this. It's like, who cares? Like, we got a feature that doesn't hurt gamers. Like it like, I don't get the backlash over the backlash.
Yeah, there's no negative part of this.
And I don't think
it costs more.
Here's what gets me, like, okay, so vocal minority. How many people on this panel have argued at one point for crossplay? I'm one.
I have.
I'm pretty sure. Adam, Brian.
I also I didn't oppose it. I was like, yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Carlos, me, Adam, and Brian have all advocated for for crossplay being a good thing for gamers. So out of all the people on this panel, you and Manny are the only ones that say we don't give a fuck. So how are the people saying that they want this a vocal minority, in your opinion, when you're literally the minority on this panel?
But the panel isn't like the entire world.
No, it's
not. And I already said, just based on my time, I'm not saying.
I mean,
yeah, but I'm not saying this is the reality. I'm saying based on what I saw on my Twitter, that's what I'm saying. But I'm not saying that. But I'm not saying that's scientific either. Understand?
And that's my point. Like,
yeah,
I think it's because you're not multiplayer focused that you think that this is like, oh, other people's problems, and that your friends who are also not multiplayer focused. Like, if you talk to people who enjoy multiplayer games, they're generally, unless they're huge fanboys, generally not opposed to the idea of more people playing a game at the same time with them, because only good things happen from there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there are guys that I saw. They said, "No, I don't want to play with those Xbox guys. Fuck those guys."
I mean, I feel like that is a fanboy comment.
Yeah, and also the Xbox. I said too. Well, I'm not playing with PlayStation guys. Fuck those guys.
No, I don't know. That's the shit.
What do you mean you don't know? I see it all the time. I see it all the time.
In game, you wouldn't know.
In the game,
you wouldn't know.
Yeah, unless you saw their name actually, because I think you can't have underscores in PlayStation names, so that's how they were able to tell when Fortnite accidentally had crossplay. It's like, wait, those are PlayStation names. What the fuck? You know?
Yeah, it's like they accidentally left the firewall off.
Yeah, which proved that it was easy to begin with. You know,
I don't see it as I don't see it as a bad thing. I just think that the only reason why this became a hot button topic is because people realized it existed. In other words, it's like looking over the fence, realizing there's an amusement park on the other side of a fence that you didn't know there was there until you looked.
But well, no, I agree. Let's all be honest. We all thought that, like, to a certain extent, we knew the success of Fortnite, but we all thought of Fortnite as like, that's kind of a minority fringe kind of thing. Like, I'm pretty sure the majority of Fortnite players are the ones pushing for this. I don't think they're a minority.
I don't know. I don't even
playing it.
I think it's people playing it, but also at the same time, I do think that when it comes to Fortnite, it's also a bit of a different gamer than some of us.
Yeah, I don't think they're like the like serious gamer like this.
I want to say it's a sort of gamer that is it's probably a younger generation of gamer. I would say it was just people that just see it on the YouTube and just like, hey, I want to play that too, as opposed to just a person that's already been an install base kind of.
How about Greg Miller? Because he even posted on his Twitter that he was like campaigning for crossplay.
Okay, what about him?
He is definitely within our age range, and he's definitely.
I'm just saying a lot of them. I'm going to saying a lot of it just seems like it's a lot of younger folks that are going for that.
Because I see a lot of like older folks.
Which is fine.
Okay, Manny. I also seen a lot of people in our age range also saying like, yeah,
that's fine as well.
So but I didn't see like this younger age range campaign for it, because like all of them I don't see at all. So maybe that's just my bias. But still,
I mean, maybe it's just because
a lot of people that were established like, hey, let's go for it. Even what's his face, Malik was like, yeah, let's let's go for it. It's like these are people that we talk to. That these are people that are in our age range that also like, yeah, let's go for it. I
Well,
don't
Brian,
know if Sonic see us like Fortnite guy.
I mean, most gamers are younger in general, so that like you're obviously just
No, younger
think-
how, Carlos? Because the stats I've seen say that most gamers are our age.
Yeah, because we grew up with it.
well, but our age is different from like Tony and Manny, so like I don't know, like
No, as in like our age, like to Tony's age, like
You're talking about
the
the age
mid-20s,
range,
like
yeah.
mid-30s or early 30s. I don't know how old Tony is.
but like I mean then you just have to
The
look at
same age as
multiplayer
me.
games.
Yeah. But I do want to move on because we actually have 2 more crossplay questions. So we're gonna keep talking about this tonight, people.
Let's keep crossing.
Yeah. So yeah, basically, I'm cutting off just to continue it. Again, by the way, just throwing more anecdotes in there. I'm also kind of basing this off just the general feeling about crossplay in our chat. Every time we talk about this, they don't like that shit. They're like, keep that shit away from me. It's interesting, man. But anyway, we're gonna talk about more about crossplay and 2 more
But
questions
before that,
actually.
I want somebody in the chat, post us a question with good reasons why you think crossplay is a bad thing, because I am genuinely fucking curious what the counter argument to crossplay is.
What I've seen is people just not caring about it and being annoyed by the conversation, but I've never seen someone say that they didn't. Like
That's
it.
a good question.
But then they're not
know.
multiplayer, so then it shouldn't phase them. It's not for them. So and it doesn't hurt. It's not like they're paying extra. It's like, oh, games are gonna cost $5 more now. Then yeah, get pissed. But if it's not gonna impact you, why do you care?
I know if he's in the chat right now, I know he said he feels that the Xbox community are toxic. He doesn't want to play with them.
Oh, forget about
you know?
it. You can't talk.
Dude, most of the Xbox community has already bought PlayStations.
You can't even talk.
That's true.
You can't
Wait, hold on. When we
Hold on,
first
Chris,
started
go ahead.
talking about this, I had said that
Yeah.
this my personal feeling on it was it wasn't a big. I don't think crossplay is a bad thing. I chewed Sony out for not even allowing cross saves, which my argument was it's not their
That's it.
saves to begin with. It's Epic servers and it's their saves. They should allow cross save. Now crossplay, I said they could do whatever they want. They can keep it locked down, whatever. That was fine with me. But at least allow the saves to go over. So if somebody goes to the PC or whatever, they keep their shit, right?
And
so
you can do that now.
Yeah, so that I chewed Sony out. So I don't think that's a bad thing. I think that's great.
Yeah, we all agreed on that point, though. We all agreed
I
on
don't
that.
understand why people are hating on it, though.
No,
They still think that's all part of the deal.
It's kind of 2 different subjects. But anyway, we're going to talk about more about crossplay. Let's keep moving, man. The next question is from Mr. G Megaforce, right? What do you think is the biggest factor that causes a video game company to go bankrupt? Is it poor sales, bad business practices, or a series of unfortunate decisions?
It's actually all of the above.
All of them. All
Yeah.
of them. Yep. It's all
I mean,
of
the
them.
unfortunate decisions usually comes from bad business practices, but either deceitful or incompetence.
Which lead to low game sales, you know. So yeah, it's all tied together, man. It's all. I think you answered your own question, bro. It's all 3 of them. You know.
It's all 3.
Yeah, there's not much more to say about that. So you guys want to get into more crossplay shit? We got another one. All right.
Sure.
With crossplay now being a reality, kind of, do you think it would be cool to have platform versus platform tournaments?
Oh, please. No.
No.
I don't know.
Platform versus platform
Hold
tournaments.
on a second. Wait, I'm stopping the conversation right now. All of you guys were just saying that gamers play. Let me finish. Let me finish. All you guys just finished saying that you want to have every gamer on every platform playing together in one big family. Now you're saying you're against fucking tournaments? Are you kidding me?
Clearly have
That is
no play
hypocritical as shit.
No,
What the fuck is wrong with you guys?
Gas on a fire.
Yeah, you can't. First off, just because it's crossplay doesn't mean it's cross chat. You can't talk to these people.
So you're against platform versus platform?
So
when-
No, it's
I
like,
don't
it's
understand
like,
it.
It's a tournament. Look, check this out. It's like, let's say we're Call of Duty, and it's like, okay, we're gonna have an Xbox versus PlayStation tournament. You're just
Okay.
inviting some flame boy shit, like.
But you're already inviting Flameboy shit by having cross-platform play in the
because you
first
can't
place.
Talk. We just told you can't talk.
Why can't you
So
talk?
You won't, because it doesn't support it.
How do you know that?
Because you can see it right now. Fortnite does not support it. Microsoft doesn't support it. None of them. They don't have that
Then what
technology.
the hell
Well, think
support
about
a
the Switch
crossplay
can't
then?
even chat.
Yeah.
The Switch can't even chat.
You
Just
need to
not a
explain this to me. I'm confused. So you want cross-platform play, but you don't want platform. There's a platform tournament.
Dude, Tony, build bridges, not walls.
Yeah.
I don't understand it. What the fuck does that even mean?
Holy shit.
Don't-
Sharp as a marble with this. Cross progression.
Okay, who the fuck is talking about that? Who cares?
That's what this is all about.
No, it's
this
not.
is all in it.
No, it's
this
not.
Is it. The fact
This
is
is about
the fact that they opened up the door.
PlayStation and Xbox. Guys playing
People
each other.
wanted to go. People wanted to take their profile from the PlayStation over to Switch, right? Now
yeah,
they can't.
we know.
You hear it,
but that's not what people are talking about. They're talking about.
I don't care what they're talking about. It's what's in there. It's what you can do, and that's what I care about. And
that's great, but that's not the question.
Okay, whoa. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me just.
And you guys need to explain to me why. Yeah, please.
Okay, so Tony, you really don't understand the difference between taking people who don't get along and forcing them to be on the same team, and taking people who don't get along and forcing them to compete against each other. You really don't see two different end results from those two paths.
That's how you just said. They're both the same. I don't see the difference.
No. If you take if you take, for instance, somebody who's racist but maybe not a complete idiot, and force him to do a task with somebody who he has previously bad ideals with and share a common goal, you can actually build bridges and have that person come out the other side possibly a little less racist. Like, the idea is that you build connections between divided groups, right? That's a way to actually get people to work along, to work together. Whereas taking people and putting them in opposing factions, that's like that study that they did where they told all the kids in like the kindergarten classroom that the kids with brown hair were superior to the kids with blonde hair. Like, you give people a reason to feel superior and then let them compete. It's going to breed toxic kinds of hate, man.
Mm-hmm.
But you're gonna get that. You're gonna get that either way. You're gonna get that either way.
No, you're not. If you force somebody you don't necessarily get along with to work alongside you for a common goal, you're not going to breed hate. You're going to breed cooperation. You're going to breed understanding. This isn't just me saying this. Like, studies have shown this. They showed it in basic mammals.
For example, all right, so like Diablo, right? Diablo, Blizzard games. When you sign in, you also have your own friend list into Blizzard. You have your own friend list. You have all that stuff. And from what I understand, what Epic wants to do is the same type of thing. So let's say if we're just playing online, we're playing a game, and I'm like, oh, you're a cool guy. I add you to my friend list. Now we're friends. You could be on PlayStation. I could be on Xbox. It doesn't matter at that point. We are now connected. Do you see that?
Yeah,
but tournaments would destroy. I'm not understanding this at all.
No, it's because I think the thing that you're not understanding is that it will add having console specific tournaments where it's like Xbox versus PlayStation versus Switch. You know, essentially drawing the lines between everybody will not serve to bring people together. It will
defeat
essentially
the whole purpose of all of it.
It will serve to divide everybody.
Okay, but if you're going to have that anyway, what does it matter?
What was that?
I said if you're going to have cross-platform play anyway, what the fuck does it matter then? This
is the thing. This is the thing. When you're actually drawing the lines, they're not drawing any lines. That's the thing that you're not getting. They're not drawing. They're not saying this guy's on a PlayStation, this guy's on an Xbox, this guy's on everything.
Nobody knows.
Everybody. The only difference is that you pretty much see is that little space thing that happens on some of the names. But everybody on there is all. The only thing you know about them is that they're actually just playing the game. Now, if you start drawing lines as to, this is the PlayStation crowd and only these and this is the Xbox crowd, this is the Switch crowd, this is PC crowd, this is cell phone crowd, right? When you start drawing lines that serves to build a division between everybody. It's competition, but you know that it's going to start causing more trouble than what it's worth.
All right, I think I understand where you're coming from now.
Yeah. I remember that guy last week confirmed that the exclusive items, cosmetics, people can't see it. They just see it generic. So it's not like you can even see. Oh, he got a great T-shirt. I wish I had that.
And there you go. And that's where they don't want to create any sort of division within the actual game. They don't want to use that thing to sell you onto another console. Yeah. They just want you to. Everybody is playing in the same world. And if you can see their things, that exist on there, you can see it, but you can't see the specialized items that are.
All right, just to make sure I understand this. So you guys are for cross-platform play if it allows everybody to play in the same pool, right? But you're not against guys from PlayStation and Xbox fighting against each other. That's what that's what you're saying, right?
I mean, if you get into a competitive match and somebody on the other team happens to be from another platform, that's one thing. But saying all of these, even down to, okay, so you have like PlayStation versus Xbox guys, right? No matter who wins, that's going to start a flame war about who is the superior group of gamers.
Yeah.
No matter what.
Okay.
And that's not necessarily you were assuming that's going to happen anyway.
Yeah, I am.
And
actually, I am assuming that.
That's where you're not understanding.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily going to happen anyway. Take PC for example, right? There's a lot of people on PC who also have consoles. Okay, you can play a game with somebody on Steam, make friends with them, and then be like, "Hey man, you happen to be picking up Spider-Man?" And they'll be like, "Oh no, I only have an Xbox." And you're not immediately like, "Oh, go fuck yourself, you dirty Xbot! I can't believe I wasted all my time with you." You're just like, "Oh, okay, cool. You have an Xbox, I have a PlayStation. That's fine." It's not a big deal. You've already made friends with this person. You don't walk in with a big PlayStation t-shirt on. You just walk in, make friends on common ground, and there's not necessarily this big flame war going on, because that's the thing, is hate doesn't do well in interpersonal relationships. It only does well when somebody's a vague abstract that you can imprint previous biases upon. It's tough to be discriminatory towards somebody that you know. And that's where the building bridges comes in. You don't come in with a tag that says PlayStation or a tag that says Xbox. You come in, you all play the same game. Yeah, sometimes you do get out.
The game. That's it.
Yeah.
You come for the love of the game.
All right, I guess I understand it. But now to answer the question, I guess you guys are already against it, right? You don't want this?
No.
All right. I'm the odd man. I'm saying, yeah, fucking do it. Let's see who's really about that life. I want to see that shit.
Please.
So
you know
yeah.
what? It reminds me of those corporate monsters that create fake rivalries.
Yeah, I want to see it because, like, you know, the Xbox guys for years have been saying that they're better gamers than PlayStation guys. Let's actually see if that's true.
Oh yeah. So then, if somebody's cheating with one of the scuff controllers and has all of that
well, you got to have rules. You got to have rules.
There's no rules. Come on, how you gonna
go? There ain't no rules.
Again, Tony, where do you think like a third of the PlayStation audience is? Or where do you think they come from? They're fucking. They came from Xbox, man.
Oh yeah, they might
be playing with Xbox owners.
Yeah.
You're already.
There you go.
It's a tired old meme from 5 to 7 years ago. From the time that meme, that idea fucking started, from the time that Division started, most of those people are already playing games with you.
Yeah.
Like, that should show you how stupid that idea is. We're all just gamers. Like,
oh no, I agree with you, but at the same time, you know,
like, oh, I bought a Keurig, you bought an off-brand thing. We are not the same kind of. We both love coffee, but you can go fuck yourself with your off-brand Keurig. You don't see that shit happening.
Yeah, no, you don't. But I'm for it. But the thing is, like, you know, like, and you bring up a good point. It needs to be a proper tournament, like, with actual people that you see and shit. Because you're right. What if you're using some fucking crazy ass controller online? Yeah. No one can see it. So it has to be like an actual real control, you know, tournament with rules and everything. You know what I'm saying? Standardized controls. Hell, maybe have everybody use that scuff controller on all systems. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, at that point, you're just a corporate prostitute, get fucking sponsored. Why should you show yourself out and brand yourself for one company or another as a gamer unless they're giving you something?
But that's what happens at tournaments anyway. Like, hey, I'm repping Street Fighter, I'm repping Tekken, you know, shit like that. It's the same basic concept. It's just you're using a specific console. So
one's a creative IP, one's a brand.
Yeah, it's better to pimp out the game than the systems that play them.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. I say let them fight. I'm all for that. You know,
let them fight.
Yeah. All right. Next question here from Mr. Matt Wheaton. All right. Are any of you guys fans of the Cyberpunk genre? And if you are, what are your top 3 favorite Cyberpunk games? Brett, I'm going straight to you.
Oh man, not yeah, but fuck yeah. Shadowrun. I'm trying to think.
Which version? There's two. There's multiple versions.
The original, the OG Sega version.
No, the Sega.
Wait, was it the NES? I always get them confused.
The Super NES and the Sega one actually came out around the same time. They're just two drastically different games.
One was fucking terrible, and the other one was amazing.
The top angle one was the PlayStation one, where it was like pretty much like more like an RPG.
Oh, I love that one too. Pretty much any Shadowrun until they started coming out into Steam, and honestly,
the return wasn't bad. Those guys put a lot of work into that one.
The launch was real bad, and I was like, I'm gonna step back and let some of the player made content, because we're relying a lot on player made content. I was like, I'm gonna let some of this build up, and then I never went back to it. There aren't a whole lot of Cyberpunk games, to be honest.
I would count the Metro.
Would you?
Series.
I was just thinking about that.
Yeah, something about it. I would count it.
I almost want to count Fallout, but that's more retrofuturism.
So Deus Ex is not something that you would think about?
I didn't play Deus Ex.
I was going to ask that. Can I count? Because the thing is, I'm not a fan of Cyberpunk, but I think, say, Deus Ex may be a Cyberpunk thing.
Counts, yeah.
I think, yeah. Because the thing is, like, because that future isn't as, like, fucked up and dystopian as a typical Cyberpunk story. It still has government in it of some sort, but it does have cyberpunky things. Yeah, fuck it, I'm going to count it as Cyberpunk. So,
no,
yeah.
I think that's pretty cyberpunk. Like, one of the hallmarks of cyberpunk is generally a dystopian future ruled by corporations more than law entities.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Like, for me, like, it's that plus the whole world's like really fucked up. Like, it's like cities are dilapidated, disgusting, dirty, run down.
Man.
But
no, think Akira. Think Akira. Akira's a pretty good cyberpunk.
Oh, is it? Because I never considered a cyberpunk. You know,
no,
like
that's pretty much the definition of cyberpunk.
I kind of consider like, you know, not all of it Ghost in the Shell kind of cyberpunk. You know how those cities look fucked up. Yeah. But yeah. So if I take away the clean aesthetic future, yeah, Deus Ex is a fucking cyberpunk, super cyberpunk. You know, because that's corporations running everything. Yeah.
Did anyone play Syndicate?
Yeah, Syndicate was fun. Control people. That was fun.
Game.
Played that on my 3DO.
Yep. 3DO, man.
Yeah, I played it on
man,
a while ago. There was a newer one, but I never played it.
Yo, Dr. Evil, Order 1886 is steampunk, not cyberpunk.
Yeah, it's a different punk, man.
Does Detroit count? Because Detroit is almost there.
I'm not going to count it because that's more futuristic, but I see what you're coming from. But
I wouldn't count like RoboCop.
No, yeah, exactly. That's not cyberpunk at all.
No, it's not. It's not quite there. It's like almost there.
Yeah,
it needs another 50, 100 years.
And to me, maybe, and Brad, you're the cyberpunk, especially because to me, cyberpunk, like a heavy emphasis of it is the virtual reality part of it. Like, hey, I'm just jacking into a system and
Johnny Mnemonic is
you know what I'm saying?
Yes and no. Like, classic cyberpunk was birth of a time where there was, you know, still green screen fucking computers. So you can have a full cyberpunk world without holograms. It's actually really low tech.
Yeah.
You know, like Shadowrun. There's really strong infrastructure and network, but
it's funny though, because it's like with green screens and everything, because they were only just reflections of what was going on at the time. It's like computers, computers obviously at that point in time were green screens with just text.
No, exactly. So cyberpunk doesn't necessarily, and Tony's right with Deus Ex. Cyberpunk doesn't necessarily have to be bleeding edge technology. It can, in fact, a lot of it, one of the hallmarks is that, like, yes, there is high technology, but you know, there's such a wealth discrepancy.
Yes.
See a lot of really old shit still in use. And, you know, it's the idea of like, oh, the 86. Oh, man, that was a good solid model back then. You know, where it part of a cyberpunk universe isn't planned obsolescence that actually exists in our world. When they kind of birthed that idea, they had the idea that most technology would be backwards compatible in perpetuity. So that you'd be able to use even really old, outdated equipment to link up to newer equipment if you could generate the computational power or whatever the fuck they filled it in with, or gamma rays.
Yeah, Dr. Evil, he says his Mirror's Edge cyberpunk. I would say that's more just dystopian than cyberpunk. There's not really emphasis on technology there, you know? Yeah, it's more dystopian. But
you need two things for cyberpunk. You need the cyber, but you also need the punk.
Yeah,
like that's the thing about it. Like, you can't just have a weird cyber future. Like, it has to be mildly dystopian. It's usually, like I said, run by more either super corrupt governments that really don't have huge areas of lawlessness, like Judge Dredd kind of shit.
Yeah,
or there is basically no real government, and there's just these huge mega corporations that run everything. So you're more likely to be picked up for owing somebody money than actually killing somebody on the street kind of thing. Like, there's this definite kind of like anarchistic vibe that needs to be there. And part of that was birthed out of partial anime kind of stuff. Like in the Akira, for instance, that was born out of the idea of kind of the lawlessness and the chaos and the anarchy, even though by relative measures there was none of that by our standards, that happened after the bombing. The idea of the post-apocalyptic, in the sense that the world had ended as they knew it, whereas people had known it, but there still continues to be something that goes on. So it's not quite post-apocalyptic, but it's almost post-apocalyptic in the sense that the old world has just decayed away. So you need that corruption. You need that. You can't just have a nice, clean, perfect city. You need overgrowth, and then you definitely need the cyber aspect. Heavy augmentation, some sort of big interface network, cyber limbs, artificial implants, shit like that. To be truly no, I'm going way down the rabbit hole here on the nerd stuff. But you need all that stuff.
Yeah, let's move on, man, because we still got a bunch here. I don't know if you guys have answered this before. Actually, we haven't. What are your top 3 favorite shoot 'em up games? And these could be horizontal, vertical, on rails, or whatever. Gradius 3 is my first one, man. I love that fucking game. Like, that was cool. R-Type, that's another one. Shit. And even though I never played it myself, I'm going to throw Ikaruga in there just because of how influential it was, All right, Manny, go.
I would say Gradius and R-Type.
And one more, 3.
I can't remember. No. What's his face? Frickin' that fucking German. What the hell's that German? Einhander.
There you go. Yeah, I was about Manny. You gonna count the parts in Nier Automata? Hey man,
that part was sick.
Hell yeah, man, that shit was awesome. All right, Chris, what about you? 3 shoot 'em up games.
I loved R-Type. I loved the whatchamacallit, the Raiden series.
Ooh.
I don't know if you ever played it in the arcade. It was great. I thought that game had the best power-ups I've ever seen for a top-down shooter. And I didn't play Ikaruga too much. It was really good though. But I'd say the 1940 X series from Capcom, the World War II top-down.
Oh yeah,
shooters.
those are good.
I used to love those back in the day. I played all of them. They were great. They started getting off the wall insane. I mean, the last game, you strap a jet to your P-51 and fly to the moon because the Nazis are up there, and and then apparently the Nazis are aliens. So the game started going off the rails, but it was still freaking fantastic.
All right, Adam.
1942. That was a fun one. 1942, 1943. Loaded, because I count those also. Run around. Smash TV, same thing.
Yeah, you can't, because I was more thinking about the vertical, horizontal ones, but fuck it, I'll count
those.
Smash
Those
TV.
count because it's the same thing. Just all you do is shoot. You just don't even let go of the button.
Yeah, that's more like an arcade stick. What do you call them? Stick shooters?
They're twin stick shooters, but it's still the same.
Stick, yeah.
Smash
TV was twin stick.
He also did. Yeah, he also did say on rails. So if we're gonna go on rails too, Virtua Cop, obviously. I'd love me some Virtua Cop.
I played House of the Dead, man.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, but I'm really trying to just keep it to traditional shoot 'em up games.
Because I was gonna ask, does Contra count?
No, not really. I'm thinking more about a little vehicle of some kind, shooting a bunch of shit,
Operation Wolf.
Yeah, bullet hell type of games,
House of the Dead.
Nah, let's not count that one. I know he said on rails, but I want to keep it just to the real shoot 'em up games. All right, Brett, go ahead.
I'm gonna ignore your rules and say
The Witcher.
I will ignore your rules.
The Witcher.
I choose Bloodborne.
No Man's Sky.
Yeah, man,
There you go.
Dark Souls, motherfucker. Let's go.
Gunstar Heroes. So, do you think that counts?
No, but that's a side-scrolling shoot 'em up. But fuck it, go ahead, man. Since you don't want to listen to the rules.
Well, if you want by the rules answer, I really actually did enjoy Geometry Wars.
Ooh, there you go.
Oh god damn it, Brett.
There you go.
Oh.
And I'm going to put this in there, Bulletstorm. I know that's not the kind of shooter you're thinking of, but it is a game based around pulling trick shots and shooting people in the nuts. So some of the most fun I've had with shooting.
Let's just all make up our own rules. I'm gonna just name some random games.
Yeah.
Brett, I'm guessing you don't like
Gravity
this.
Rush too?
I'm guessing you don't like this genre too much.
It's just been so long since I've played a lot of them that kind of feels like a genre that's not used anymore.
It totally isn't. I was thinking about that the other day. That genre is effectively dead. That's why I went to the old guys first.
That's why in Nier it was just like, man, this just feels so good.
Yo, you're right. I was like, Carlos, did you feel I was like, yo, I haven't played this in a long time, man.
It feels like you were playing in a fucking arcade.
Yeah, man, this shit was crazy. But
I got shout out to another one.
Go ahead, man.
Okay.
Hey,
Thunder Force on Genesis.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Good. I love that game.
Hey, Afterburner counts, right? Even though it's like
that. Yeah, I mean, it was just 3D, but it was totally bullet hell. I mean, it was just done in 3D, just like Space Harrier.
Yeah, Space Harrier. You know,
does Resogun count?
Yes, it does.
It's done that same thing. It's 1942.
Same thing. That totally counts. Zarge says Galaga, Gorf, Moon, Cresta.
Oh, Galaga.
Yeah, Asteroids, The Truth. There you go. You guys know what's up.
Classic.
I mean, Galaga is pretty much the default answer.
Pretty much, you know. By the way, Brett, you were tripping me up with, Gunstar Heroes because that doesn't count. But I love that fucking game. That's
why I wanted to throw it. I was like, I mean, it's good enough that one. Throw that in there.
Yeah. All right. Let's go to young guys, man. Carlos, shoot 'em up games.
Yeah. Brett
Have you ever even heard of these?
Brett definitely took one of mine. I fucking love Geometry Wars. Yeah, Resogun is another good one. Not one of the two of the recent ones. One that I want to give also. I want to put is Macross, Scrambled
Macross.
For the SNES, man, I still fucking love that game. It's so fucking good. So yeah, those are my three.
All right, Brian, I want to hear this. Go ahead.
Nope, I don't have any.
That's what I figured. If you even had one, I'd be fucking shocked.
Oh, wait. Kristen brings up something that I wonder if this is...
Yeah, I want to talk about this. She says Star Fox. Because
Star Fox counts.
If Star Fox counts, then I'm going to throw in Panzer Dragoon, if that counts.
Star Fox 64?
I don't know.
I don't consider those shoot 'em ups.
On rails.
Yeah, it's on rails. I mean, for the question, the guy did say on rails, so yes, that counts for this question. It's not a shoot 'em up, though.
Yo, man, you keep changing the rules.
I'm not changing nothing. He's the one that who threw in 3 different things in there. He says Brian would say Warframe. Oh man! All right, let's move on, man. We still got a bunch of shit here. Well, make sure I don't miss anything. Okay, Mr. Figs. So, how do you guys feel about single-player games like Devil May Cry 5 having microtransactions?
It's all right. Microtransactions been around forever. I don't care.
I don't.
This games for so long that we just seem to have stopped giving a damn now.
Here's the thing.
So, Brian, are you upset about it?
I am not upset, but like no one seems to give a damn anymore. So like, fuck it.
What are you upset about?
But I mean, I don't understand. I don't understand.
Oh, okay. Wait. You don't see why I'm upset?
I don't understand. I mean, especially with the way this specific microtransaction is done. It's pretty much the same microtransaction system that Dante's Inferno had, where essentially there's nothing that you can continue to play the game and you can get all the different things in the game, moves and all that other stuff, or you can pay a little bit of extra money and fast track yourself to give yourself every single move in the game.
Yep.
It's the same exact thing.
It's better than loot boxes.
I do want to toss out that
you know what you're getting.
I do want to put out that we don't know exactly how the microtransactions were going to work in this game.
It's going to be the same exact. If you're,
I just don't want to make an assumption. That's all I'm saying.
If we're talking about red orbs are the upgrade material. That's like it's the same thing as God of War, right? It's those things that you collect every single time you beat the shit out of everything, right?
Apparently, in Devil May Cry 4, the HD edition. You could do the same thing, and it didn't affect the game. Yeah, so that's a better comparison. My answer, you already know. I don't care as long as it doesn't affect the game. Don't give a shit.
Yeah,
not
I
give a
don't think
fuck.
I don't think Capcom is trying to is in this situation is going to try to get people to go directly to microtransactions, but they are allowing to give you that option to just get as many of those orbs and just get every single move and just be a total badass.
Hold on, check this out. Master Shake, because this is a good
Really quick.
kind of argument. He goes, I hate it because it is completely unnecessary and screws up your sense of being a completionist. But you don't have to buy it, dude.
You don't need it. It's cosmetic most of the time.
Exactly. It's
You don't need it.
exactly.
Well, for this
You
case,
can-
it's red orbs for so it's not
You
cosmetic
can-
in this case. Just throwing that
But the
out there.
thing is, again, it's not something that's forcing you to do it. It's essentially just giving you the options. Like, hey, if you don't have a lot of time, and I've seen people done this before, whereas they didn't have a lot of time and they really want to beat the game. So what they do is they just buy all the red orbs that they need to get to the end.
There you
But if
go.
it's on some Shadow of War shit, then you should be mad.
Yeah, I
You know?
think there should be some. I think people should just have. There should be some sort of mental differentiation between the types of because it's like every single person's like the minute they hear microtransaction, microtransaction.
Yeah, microtransactions are not bad in and of themselves.
No.
That's how they're implemented. You know.
Yeah,
It's loot boxes are bad.
And people are becoming savvy on how to like answer to these like malpractices of loot boxes and microtransactions. Like Shadow of War, that shit was a failure.
Yeah, and then obviously the big one, Star Wars Battlefront 2. People weren't having that shit anymore.
I'm curious, Tony.
Yes.
Would you be okay if there was a new trend where there was a microtransaction to unlock the platinum?
That is not the same.
That's not the same thing.
Same situation.
Yeah,
Why?
because that's not in game. That's just like an extra thing. That's not in game. Like if it is,
doesn't affect you.
huh?
Doesn't affect you. If somebody just wants to jump to the end instead of actually platting the game, why shouldn't they be able to buy the microtransaction?
But that's
EA used to do that.
that's totally
EA
different.
used
But
to-
here's the thing:
wasn't
if you
a
do
platinum.
that, if you want to do that, that's fine. Just at least I want that platinum to be like a different color, just so it shows people, hey, you bought this thing.
Why? I mean, if you're showing the end,
Yeah. But it's a totally different situation, so I need to bring up with a different an analog because that doesn't even count for this.
EA had what was it? It was.
But
that
you know what, Brett? Just to indulge you, just ultimately, you know what? Yeah, because I am a capitalist. Yeah, if people want to do that, you want to buy platinums, go ahead. I can't really stop them because it doesn't affect me.
Yeah,
You can do it on Steam.
and
You can do it
think
on
about
Steam.
it. It's
Yeah.
like, okay, let's say you're a company and sell a game. It's like $60. It's like, let's say you can say, okay, pay $60 plus 40 extra, and you'll get to beat the game early. Why do you care as a
Yeah.
publisher or a developer? You're getting like that guaranteed money, and it's like, and for what? For someone's pride, someone else's pride, that they actually beat the game. Like, I wouldn't really care.
Yes.
well, it just,
Yeah, you know what? That's
reminds
fine.
me-
That's fine. Yeah.
It just reminds me of a time where, and I swear that this is true, game developers used to make games unnecessarily difficult and sometimes unfun or broken in an attempt to squeeze more money out of you.
Yeah, the arcades.
So I don't really think it's unrealistic to think that we could lead down a slippery slope where they make things intentionally pain in the ass or broken in an effort to get people to just pay for the microtransaction that unlocks all the powers, or not give you enough skill points to actually unlock everything through the game.
And that goes back to what I was saying. If it's implemented correctly, then it's fine. If they do bullshit like that, then it's not fine. Where they purposely, like Shadow of War, perfect example. You have to actually buy these fucking orcs and shit. And you could do it in game, but it's just gonna take a ridiculous amount of time. That shit is not cool. I'm not for that. But if you just say, hey, you pay $12, you can buy all the red orbs. But if you want to just do it the honorable way, you'll still get them regardless, And apparently, I think DualShockers did like a test, and apparently, even if you just play the game normally, you still get a shit ton of red orbs. So it doesn't matter. It's just for people who just want to fast track. But yeah, I agree with you. Like if it's implemented in a bad way, that is not cool, and that's what people are worried about. And I can understand that. But at the same time, you can't just think microtransactions is bad just because of the fact that they exist. That's where I'm coming at it from. It's like, yeah, if it has been implemented badly in some games. We're not going to deny that. But microtransactions in and of themselves are not a bad thing. There's nothing wrong with publishers making money.
Yeah, exactly. And then people start bitching, why did the studio close? But what else are they gonna do? They need a way to make money, and you bitch about all the ways you make money. So
Yeah, but usually microtransactions and DLC, even the way they were sold to us, was some sort of additional content, and even with the idea that it's a way to keep developers and artists working so that they don't have to lay off a bunch of people during downtime. This is not that kind of DLC. There are none of those reasons for this kind of thing other than, we're going to let you skip to the end. Like, it doesn't. I think that's probably why some people are getting a little bit pissy about it, because there's no understandable reason for this to exist.
Yeah, it is, but they want money.
It could be also.
Yeah, they want money.
Yeah, they want money. There's nothing wrong with that, you know. You know, I don't begrudge any company making their money, especially if people are willing to pay for it. You know, it's
Time
how
saver,
they
that's
do
what
it.
it was
Yeah,
called.
there's nothing wrong with that.
It was like $10 or $15. EA did it for the Need for Speed and other. People got pissed because it unlocked everything. It unlocked all the cars. It unlocked all the maps and everything. I don't know if you got the trophies or achievements, but I know it unlocked everything for you, and it was called Time Saver. If you just don't have the time, or let's say you put in a lot of time and you're like, hey, I'm not going to be able to finish
The problem comes, and I think the last Need for Speed game did this, where it takes so fucking long to unlock this shit. It practically forces you to buy the microtransactions. That is not cool, and that's why I can understand why people are pissy about it. You know, I totally get that point, but I'm just saying, don't get just because you hear the word microtransactions, don't just fly off the deep end. You know,
Brian,
Same with
you got the platinum. Did you buy any transactions? Did you buy any of that stuff for the new Need for Speed paper?
Nope, I'm not giving EA any more of my cash. So I went through the hard way, and it was.
How long did it take?
Okay, the thing with the platinum is that it doesn't really matter about the transactions, but in terms of if you're like me and you like to get your favorite cars and get them like maximum speed and all sorts, that is where the transactions come in. Basically, they focus on people that like to be completionists, but not people that want the platinum. Because I actually stopped after I got 2 of my cars like there, and I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna do it for all of them because I'm just wasting my time.
yeah, it's too much grinding. I didn't like the way they did that shit in that game at all. You know, if it's like that, then yeah, you guys have the right to bitch. You know, because that's just putting you to do more shit than you need to. You know, because they're trying. Yeah. No, Spider-Man ain't getting you no microtransactions.
All right, so I beat everything right now. I'm
This
just doing all
guy.
the crimes, and now I just got to keep looping and doing the same fucking crimes over and over again, so I can get 100% completion in those areas.
Yeah,
You know, but I finished this game fucking 2 days ago.
yeah, you could do that shit at night, man. That's what I did. It's nothing. All right, let's move on, man. What games are you looking forward to most the rest for this holiday season, which is like the last 3 months of the year? Besides Red Dead Redemption 2? That's like the last big one.
That's it.
Yeah, Mega Man, Fist of North Star, Soul Calibur.
Diablo 3 on Switch.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man, he's
Yo,
one of
man,
these guys.
you've been fiending for that Diablo.
It's Diablo. Oh shit! It's Diablo, man. I got that shit tattooed on my stomach. I love it.
Yeah, well, you could play it now.
Yeah,
I have one. This is what I'm saying. I want that. I want my cross progression. I want my profile to come over.
But here's the thing: they're probably not gonna do it on that one.
Maybe
They didn't
not.
say anything about Diablo.
Yeah, Blizzard isn't under this like gun like Fortnite was. Like nobody's saying Overwatch should have cross. Nobody's saying that.
Yeah, no one cares.
And you know how Nintendo is with saves, man.
Mhm.
With game saves.
Oh man.
I'll just answer for Brett. Fallout 76, because I'm also looking forward to it too.
I appreciate that. I was waiting for somebody to say that for me.
And Pokemon.
Is that this year?
Yeah. Let's Go Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu. I'm getting Let's Go Eevee.
Oh yeah, Kristen's looking forward to that.
Yeah, she says Pokemon.
Pokemon.
I'm gonna answer another one for Brett. Smash Brothers.
Thank
Oh
you.
yeah, that one too.
See, I've been here long enough that I just have that people do my bidding.
It sounds so sinister. You were
I know.
You will
right?
do my bidding.
Sakurai.
Sakurai.
Yeah, but yeah, like I said this on Twitter. I think today I was like, "Yo, after Red Dead, I'm done for the year. There's nothing like maybe maybe Darksiders 3, but I got plenty of games, man. I'm good."
Yeah. After Red Dead, the next thing I'm looking forward to is Resident Evil 2.
Yeah. Ooh, give me that cash, man. Oh fuck.
But I'm good till then. Like,
Yeah.
I could play Red Dead for like till 2019, and then there's Resident Evil 2 is waiting for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, don't forget that in 2019 they'll release multiplayer mode so they
Dude, I'll be too busy brushing my horse and
It's like your
running
horse's
it off
ass.
a mountain and getting pissed off and getting.
I don't, well, you'll have plenty of notice. I guarantee you they'll run a bunch of specials. If you do stuff in GTA Online, it'll unlock new content in the upcoming.
I already got all my businesses working. I'm waiting.
Oh no, they're gonna do more of it. They're gonna milk it as much as they can.
I was running around with that stupid revolver trying to get headshots. So I could get that. Then they threw the a hatchet in the game.
Yeah.
That causes you to go into rampage mode if you use it.
Oh, that ratchet, the hatchet was fucking nuts, man. I remember that from the first game. All right, anybody else? What games are you looking forward to for the rest of the year?
I guess Ken's Rage. I mean, no, not Ken's Rage. Fist of the North Star.
Yeah, man. Comes out on Tuesday, baby.
I'm probably not going to buy that soon, but yeah, I'm that and Red Dead, and I think that's it. I'm done.
All I gotta say is, I look forward to the Game of the Year show for Throwdown.
Oh shit, it's gonna be crazy.
It's gonna be interesting.
Very interesting. We should get Richard on that one.
What do you mean? Everybody knows Fortnite's gonna win everyone's top on the list.
Of course.
No, it's gonna be public. It's out of beta now. Remember?
Yeah, no, it's gonna be Fortnite because it has crossplay, right? It's the illest shit ever now, man. Everybody's playing it.
It's like a brand new game.
Yeah, you know.
A whole new world.
All right, anybody else want to jump in on this? All right, you can ask us. By the way, this is one of those questions you could literally ask us every month. Like, you know. All right, next up, Mr. Spacey's Pleasure Yacht. With Nintendo being cool and letting a kid have his wish come true, playing Smash Brothers while he's on his last days battling cancer, it made me want to ask a morbid gaming question. If you were on your last days and had an opportunity to play any future game, what would it be?
Bethesda just did that too. They did with Fallout.
Oh, they let some dying kid play it?
Yeah.
Oh shit!
That
all right,
seems to
so
be the thing.
Yeah. For me, for me, it's gonna be the remake of Panzer Dragoon Saga. Yo, that'd be crazy. No, in my mind,
I thought it didn't need to be anything that's real.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it does.
No, does it?
That's how I took it. Something recent. I got mine. Mine's just quick.
Okay, if it's in development, then don't count me because I don't. There's nothing. Who cares? You know.
Mine would be Gears of War 5 with my crew of guys that I played all the other ones with. So I could play one last time the whole story with them and then kick the bucket.
But they're not dying, so how?
No, but I am. They're doing it for me. They're letting me play this game with my buddies.
Imagine they're what's the coalition's like? Nah, it can only be you, bro.
It could only be me. Then I'm like, you know what? Just pull the plug now. I got no time.
Actually, hold on.
Where's the cable? You know what? Shit. Give
By
me
the way,
Game Boy and Bionic Commando and goodbye.
By the way, I think I may have misunderstood the question. So, okay, we're dying. Let's say like in a month, right? And it's an upcoming game. Yeah, you know what? I do have an answer. What the fuck is wrong with me? Resident Evil 2 remake. Let me play that shit before I die, man. I want zombies to scare the shit out of me before I die. You know. What else?
Not in VR though.
Yeah, not in. You know what I'm saying? Yo, it's something wrong with me. I'm like, what the fuck is coming out next year? I'm like, Resident Evil 2 remake.
Yo,
Division 2. Remember, we're doing.
Don't care.
What do you mean you don't care?
I don't give a fuck. You know,
Eternal early.
Doom Eternal. Ooh, Chris.
Tony, every fucking day there's some new version of you that appears.
I don't care, man.
I think you kind of just put your own...
I think, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Remember all the fun we had when we played it, though?
Yeah, for 2 weeks, and then got boring.
I think it only got boring.
Yo, man, you're hurting him.
Yeah,
it hurts.
Manny, have I not been consistent about my views on the Division?
You've been totally consistent about that game.
I mean, Tony, if you're only going to live for a month, what does it matter if it gets boring after 2 weeks?
See, there you go. Shit.
Why can't I just play Resident Evil 2 remake instead of Division 2?
Because you already played that game. There's a remake.
I already played the Division 2. It's called The Division.
This is going to be in the summer.
Division 1.
And you're not even hyped for it anyway, man.
I am not, but I like the co-op aspect. We talked about this.
Yeah, give me Resident Evil. That's my fucking answer. Even though, Chris, I like yours, man, even better. Doom? Excuse me?
Excuse me.
Shit.
Mine will be Ghost of Tsushima, or no, Cyberpunk.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, Cyberpunk. Yeah, that 2077 or whatever the hell number it is. Screw you, Brian. I got it first.
Oh, I know what mine is. Mine's gonna be Anthem, so that with my dying breath, I can be. It really is that bad.
Decision.
You'll be like, BioWare. I'll see you soon.
You have the developer get real close, and it's like epic fail.
Oh come on, like that would be a great headline. Like, cancer patient plays early access of Anthem. Last words are, "This game fucking sucks."
Save your money, everybody. Peace.
By the way, I know this is not how biology works, but I also kind of want to play a game that's so bad, my cancer decides to commit suicide and I live. My cancer's like, no, fuck this. This game is horrible. Fuck this. You know, and then you live, you know? Like a game's so bad it cures your cancer.
The Black Tiger Part 2.
Yeah.
Oh, new world.
Yeah. Ooh, I like some of these answers. Days Gone. MLB is a fucking baseball game, bro. Who cares?
It's like you're gonna be like,
play this.
it's exactly like the same as the other one last year.
Maybe his favorite player moved to a new team, and he wants to play with that player on the team.
Yeah.
A lot of people hyped LeBron James when he went to Cleveland. They were hyped just for that.
Death Stranding, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Ghost of Yoshida. Shenmue 3 and Anthem. All right, you got some answers there, you know. Crackdown 3, you crazy, bro.
Oh man, this really is bad.
Yeah, yo, let me play that shit. I'll be able to cure myself.
Can we switch this? Could you put Crackdown 1 in real quick, please? I don't want to go out like this.
Yeah.
Oh, Xbox when you catch a break, you have Phil Spencer next to Tony's dying, and he's like, skin blows.
Yo, Joey's like, Knack 3, I gotta finish this trilogy.
I mean, if you're gonna go down and take somebody down with you, like play the game and milk it so badly that they actually write headlines about how the game was so terrible it killed you.
Oh shit! Like, yo, he had another 2 months to live, but this shit just killed him right now. It was so bad.
It sapped his will to live, and he just drifted off.
Damn.
Play Death Clock. Pull the plug.
Hey, nobody said Last of Us 2, man. That'd be a hell of a way to die. Shit, you play that depressing ass game.
You're playing a depressing game. Oh god, it feels so horrible.
Man.
Yeah, good luck there, Sodep. He wants to play a good Castlevania.
Yeah.
Okay, we said something that has to be in development. That hasn't even been conceptualized yet.
You know?
Wait, what about that remake that's coming?
That's not a remake. That's just a repackage.
Yeah, that's
We have a
I
question
thought they
about
made
that.
it a re-release. They did
Nah,
4K.
this is the same shit.
What is 4K?
What is 4K?
That's what they said.
It just means that they could blow it up to 4K. It isn't really to do anything.
Just do yourself a favor and play Bloodborne. It's pretty much the same thing.
There you go.
Oh, man, you want to play some Castlevania? Fuck it.
Yeah. Brian, I want to hear your answer.
Well, someone on the panel already took my answer. Fuck you, Carlos.
Oh.
So I'm having to change up to the other answer that I know. Metro.
You can't, but the thing is that you can't, you're going to have the same answer. This is not like a friggin' exam.
No, you can't, Manny.
I have the same answer. Oh, that's boring.
Yeah, that's kind of like that's the unwritten rule we have with these, man. You can't have the same answer.
Oh, bullshit. If I have the same answer, I have the same answer. Fuck it.
Unwritten rule, motherfucker.
It's an unwritten rule that I have that I don't pay attention to.
Yes. Like, yo, I ain't write that shit.
Manny is like, yeah, just fuck the rules today.
Yeah, right?
No, I ain't saying fuck the rules. Ain't no rule. It was no rule. Just like how Pat was like, man, I'm gonna say other games that are not shoot 'em ups.
Oh man! All right, come on, guys, get in here. Any death games? Death.
I can't say that I there's something that I want to play so badly that I would want to play it before I die. I don't Death Stranding, none of that doesn't really matter. I'm like, I'd much rather be with the people, the people that I enjoy than to play some silly game. Sorry.
Uh-oh. That you just got too real right now, man.
Ooh, I would disagree with that statement.
But that's just me.
Yeah. All right, let's move on because we still got a bunch of shit here. By the way, he also asked us about memory card, save game losses. We answered that before. All right, next up, Mr. Digital Tiger. All right, this is not really a question. He just wants our thoughts on this. He goes, Sony didn't cave. They wanted crossplay since the PS3 days, but Microsoft didn't want it. Sony was just being interesting. Sony was being rightfully petty to retaliate because they're the market leader. I wouldn't doubt Sony will probably market Fortnite as the best place to play for free without paywalls. What are your thoughts?
I don't think it was so much of Microsoft than more the hate with Nintendo. That hate goes way back. Because remember, this is all for people to play on Switch. That's really what they want to do.
I think that there are certain things that when you find yourself saying, you just kind of have to realize that you've reached that line in the sand. Statements like, that baby really had it coming.
Whoa.
Or that puppy has a punchable face.
Whoa, what the fuck?
Or
eat an egg roll. What the hell?
Or the phrase rightfully petty. I think that there is no such thing. And if you find yourself saying things like, oh, they're being rightfully petty, you probably ought to look back and be like, well, I don't think there is such a thing. Maybe that's not such a good approach.
By the way, Digital Tiger, we love him and stuff, but he's the guy that when he writes Microsoft, he puts the $sign in the S. So that kind of lets you know what's up.
No, I get it. I'm just saying there are certain come to Jesus moments that when you hear yourself say something, you should be like, wait a minute. Really, I'll look back at it. Because there's no such thing as being rightfully petty. And if you're defending that sort of behavior, you should probably not.
What if you understand the behavior? Because I've said it. I'm like, I totally understand where Sony's coming from. They're like, hey, we went to you guys last generation. Now you come to us. Fuck you. So there's
a difference between understanding and
but it's a different boss. You can't go based off of that.
Yeah, I'm just saying I understand it. Rightfully petty. I don't know if I go with that, but
you understand it. But do you endorse it?
Do I endorse it?
Yeah, you do.
It's a good question.
You drink the haterade.
I don't know. I don't know if I can answer that one.
I think if you endorse it, yeah, Adam said it. If you endorse it, you've drank the haterade. There's your first clue.
You partake in the haterade.
Yeah, but I don't. Yeah, but I can't endorse. Was a thing you said rightfully petty? That's kind of silly. But I can.
At the cost of gamers.
Yeah, but I understand. But I understand. If that was the case, I understand where they're coming from. Like if somebody were to do something like that to me, and I'm like, hey, I reached out to you last time. Now you coming to me? Fuck you. So I understand that. But
then what if the guy says, hey, yo, I wasn't the boss then? I would have done.
Don't matter, man. You already did me wrong once. But that wasn't him. It don't matter. But as a corporation, yeah, you probably shouldn't operate on pettiness. But
no, you can't.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
Yeah, but then again,
but then we talk into the realm of Nintendo.
Exactly. I was just about to say that.
All the pettiness for many years.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah. So companies are petty.
Have you ever bothered to read the comments about Microsoft and Sony from the president before Mr. Iwata?
Oh yeah. That
dude petty. Was venomous.
Yes.
He hates them. He would do voodoo shit on them.
Yeah. So I don't know if we have any thoughts on this.
He had a special hatred for Sony.
Oh yeah. He didn't like it, but yeah. So pettiness exists with these companies,
Yeah, but nobody here, I think, is rooting for it. Like I don't.
No,
like,
I would.
They're rightfully petty that gets me. They're not rightfully petty. Like we all understand why they're doing it and why they're being dicks about it.
See, okay, I think Master Shake. I like the way Brett. I'm going to tell you this. Let me hear what you say. He goes, justifiably petty is okay. Rightfully petty is an oxymoron. I don't know about.
There we go.
Yeah, I like justifiably petty. Rightfully petty, stupid. I'm sorry, that's just dumb.
Right? Yeah, you can't be petty and take the high road.
Yeah,
I understand. There's a certain point which you're like, look, the view from the low road is fucking beautiful, and I'm gonna take it. It's understandable why I'm going down there, Like, if somebody really pisses you off, you could go out of your way just to make their day a little bit more miserable. If somebody's riding on your ass in the car, just bumper riding you for miles on end, and you find a great place to slow down with somebody else in the only other lane that is also going too slow, that is justifiably petty. But it is not rightfully petty. You are not taking the high road. You are still being an asshole. But it's just understandable why you're being an asshole.
Yeah. That's a phrase like I'm going to quote Megadeth right now. Rightfully petty are two words combined that can't make sense. Doesn't work. Yeah. I don't know why. I don't know why I'm thinking about this. This may be completely off, but it reminds me of that one time somebody goes to Trump. They're like, "Hey, why aren't you more humble?" He's like, "I am humble. Nobody's more humble than me." I'm like, "I don't think you understand what humble means, bro."
I too am extraordinarily humble.
Yeah. Hey, Brett. Here's a petty you will like though. Lori Petty.
Oh, I like what you did there.
Yeah, Barry Burns. Shout out to him. He's the one that said that. All right, man. Let's move on. For the PlayStation 1 Classic, what 5 games do you want to see on it? And it has to be classic PlayStation. By the way, here's his examples just to lead us off. One of the games from Siphon Filter, one of the games from Tomb Raider, Symphony of the Night, Crash Team Racing, and Jet Moto. So that's what he picks.
Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah, okay, let's go. Come on, you already know. Metal Gear Solid, Final Fantasy VII,
Ape Escape,
Resident Evil.
I'll put Legend of Dragoon on there.
Ooh,
Castlevania Symphony of the Night.
Symphony of the Night.
Could we get one of the Tony Hawks?
Nope.
Hey, if you want, Brett, it's your top 5, man. Go nuts.
No, I'm asking, is that even realistic?
Oh, fuck no. I'm talking about, this is just your wish list right now.
Oh, okay, yeah. Fuck it. One of the Tony Hawks, Soul Reaver.
There you go.
I'll put Vagrant Story on there.
Ooh, that's a good one. Final Fantasy 9, that's another one,
ESPN X games.
We ain't talk about 8.
Bushido Blade was on PlayStation 1.
I believe it was.
Yes, it
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I fucking love Bushido Blade.
It could have been great.
That's exactly what my comment on that.
It could have been great.
To each his own, as long as you enjoyed it.
All right, come on, guys. Manny, let's just go down the line. Fuck it. Manny, top 5, PlayStation, go.
Probably Metal Gear Solid, Symphony of the Night, Bloody Roar, Street Fighter Alpha. Shit. What am I? That's what 4. What was that? 3?
4.
4. Last one.
Final Fantasy, man, just throw it in there.
Yeah, Final Fantasy 7. Why not?
All right, Chris, you already listed your 5, right?
Yeah, I think I said a couple. I would put Vagrant Story on there. I would put both Parasite Eves on there.
Really, 2?
He said only one from each franchise.
Oh, okay. So Parasite Eve.
It's not Parasite Eve.
Yeah, I put that. I put the first Silent Hill on there. I put besides Final Fantasy 7, I put 9. Fuck 8. And skip. And yeah, who said Street Fighter Alpha? I put Alpha 3 on there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that 5?
Yeah, that's 5. Yeah, Carlos, go.
Metal Gear Solid, Final Fantasy VII, Ape Escape, Gran Turismo 2, and oh shit,
Parappa the Rapper. You know you want it.
Yeah, when you said Metal. Yeah, when you said Metal.
Symphony of the Night.
There you go.
That's an obvious one.
When you said Metal Gear, you meant Virtual Ops, right?
That wouldn't be. That's not a PlayStation game.
Oh, it's not. I thought it was.
Oh, the Virtual Ops. Oh yeah, no.
Yeah, Virtual Ops. Yeah, man. I was just being an asshole.
The VR missions, you mean?
Yeah. Brian, go.
I would have Gran Turismo. I swear there was a Siphon Filter game on PS1.
Oh yeah.
The original.
Yeah. Tony Hawk, Pro Skater 2, because I think that's like the better one of the. I think they had like 4 on the PS1. And that's all I have, really.
All right. Brett, do you have any more you want to list?
Resident Evil 2, and I want to agree with Final Fantasy 7. But it's pretty much touched base on all the ones.
Yeah, pretty much. Mandy, this one will trigger you. Xenogears.
Hey, I'm gonna say to each his own on that one, but that's not one of my favorites. But
Hey.
I could see it. I could see it being put on there.
Yeah, Adam, go ahead, man.
See, I didn't get triggered
Tomb Raider.
because I'm an adult.
Yes. No, you're a well-adjusted adult.
Yes.
Go ahead, man.
Yeah, Tomb Raider, Loaded, Twisted Metal.
I was about to say nobody said Twisted Metal here, man.
Yeah, Twisted Metal.
Probably 2, right? 2 was better than 1.
I don't remember which one that I was always playing. There was one on that I was always playing. Final Fantasy 7 because that was great, and Metal Gear.
There you go. Nobody said Crash, which is interesting.
Nah, I don't like Crash.
I didn't care for Crash.
Yeah.
but-
I got Mario. I don't need
Yeah,
that.
what's going on, Mighty Nerd? Showing up mad late as always. All right, moving on here. Mr. Hashling and Slasher. With Sony now allowing crossplay on Fortnite, do you think developers and publishers will put pressure on Xbox and Sony to allow crossplay on their games? Games like Destiny 2, Overwatch, and Battlefield. Interesting question.
I mean, yeah, we're only just talking about the
free- free to play.
the free to play game.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, would it be that much pressure? I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah, trust me. If there's microtransactions to be made, they'll put pressure on it because that's where, like, you want to get a new jacket or sniper rifle or something like that. You want to get a new sniper rifle to kill other players with or compete with other players with. You want to get a new piece of armor to show off to people. The bigger your audience or the bigger that competition pool, the more incentive there is for that carrot on a string. It's the same reason that we see, some of the biggest games not necessarily being the best games, they're just the most populated games. Warcraft still dominates the top of the charts, and it's not because it provides the best experience for gamers, it's because it's where you can find the most people. So a new fancy accessory in a vacuum isn't as enticing for people to spend $2.99 on than otherwise. So I think they have a huge motivation if their game is microtransaction driven. That's it. I'm done.
yeah, right, guys, come on. Did we just get burned out on this fucking topic already?
We did it. We all
But-
did it. I think
yeah.
we all answered it. We did high fives.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Whatever. We'll see. I don't care. I just don't care.
It's interesting because like Bethesda was the first one of the big ones to like say something about it, and they weren't really 100%.
They weren't about that life.
Yeah, they weren't really about that life. So it's interesting to see if anybody else would do it. And Fortnite did it because it's the biggest game in town. It's the hotness. It's in the zeitgeist. Everyone and their mom is playing this game. So it's like, yeah, that one has the ability to push buttons.
Here's my question. Okay, because he said, will developers put pressure on Sony? Why? Like, do you think they want to put pressure on them, on Sony or Microsoft?
If this becomes a trend, I would think so. But if it dies with Fortnite, then I don't think they would.
Yeah, that's why I'm asking. I'm like, I don't really see
Because they would make more money, Tony.
Would they make more money?
Yeah.
Like,
It would help
yeah.
keep a game from dying too. Like
I don't really think Battlefield 5 is going to die anytime soon.
No. But look at it this way, like, and Steam players are way more aware of this than other people. But like, you actually can look at the activity of certain games, and if you have a robust player base, games tend to continue to do well and thrive, which allows for further monetization via microtransactions. So, if you have segmented player bases, that makes the servers feel emptier. It makes the connections not quite as
That's the reason why they got rid of season passes with the maps, because it was dividing up the audience, and they were like, shit, a lot of people aren't playing in, and when they do jump in during a sale, it's already divided. People aren't playing.
Okay, yeah, I get that, because I was like, okay, let's say, and I'm just using a nice round number just to make it easy for myself here. Let's say there's 1,000 players playing this one online game, right? And 300 on Xbox, 600 on PlayStation, and the rest on Nintendo, right? I'm like, okay, that's still 1,000 players. So how does crossplay benefit them if it's still the same? It's not growing the player base
because the 300 players are going to dwindle. Because every time they log in, they're not finding the kind of matches that they want. The game experience essentially becomes a ghost town, and they stop selling copies.
But if it was 1,000 guys all in the same room together, then you think that would be it would be like there would be lesser chance. Yeah.
It gives the illusion of the game being more alive,
even though there's the same players. Okay,
exactly.
I gotcha.
The illusion is really important. Like no matter how robustly a game is populated, if it feels empty, people will think that it's dying. That's killed so many MMOs, and is still actually a problem every time they launch one, because you either have huge wait times on a server, or they open up new servers, and after the initial player surge wears off, those servers will now feel like ghost towns. Now, even if you have 100,000 people playing, if they're spread across 100 different servers and they're not running into other players very much, they're going to complain about, this game feels like it's dead. It feels like nobody's playing anymore. I can't find anybody to do these big events with. And they go online, they post that, and that starts a stigma that the game is dying, and that the game does actually die. It's like the Wall Street crisis that caused the Great Depression. It's a weird self-fulfilling prophecy. So making a game appear viable and healthy is actually hugely important to prevent player abandonment, which does cause loss of revenue. And having a game with a huge player involvement brings in other people. Why do you think that we keep seeing GTA at the top of the charts?
Mm-hmm.
Because
it's
because everybody they know is playing this game, so they're going to play it too. Yeah. And when you have more player base like that, then you're going to get more involvement, and more involvement means more opportunity to squeeze money out of people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. I guess we'll have to see. Moving on here. This is a simple one. What is your game of the year so far? Carlos, go ahead, man. You already said it right before the show started.
Spider-Man. It's
whip.
I think, like, for me, like, it's between two games. It's between God of War and Spider-Man. I think God of War is the better curated experience. But like, I prefer the story of God of War. I prefer sort of like the lore of it. But I don't think anything beats Spider-Man's combat and traversal in the world. Like, to me, gameplay is number one for me in anything that I play. Like, when I compare different games, and Spider-Man, man, it's got like the mechanics are so like tight, and it's just really like engaging the way you like all the things you can do with like combat and traversal through the world. So
nice.
Yeah, Spider-Man.
I can't wait to delete this shit. Yo, I'm so pissed.
You've had an agenda against this game since it came out.
Yeah, man. And hating ass motherfucker, man. Yeah. Anyway, Adam, what's your game of the year so far?
You could have sworn this game had a dinosaur in it,
right?
Yeah, no, it was fucking God of War. God of War. Everything about it, just like, it was so good. The story was great. The action was great. The leveling up aspect was great. It's so difficult, and it's one of those I still want to go back and do all the Valkyries and all that other good stuff. You know, Spider-Man, great game, fun game. Should have ended fucking hours ago. It's all this, and it's my own fault. It's my own fault because for the casual person, and you could tell just from the trophies, they stopped. They stopped at the main story, and they didn't do any of the side shit. All that's this rare and ultra rare. It's me. It's the people that are trying to go for the plat that are like, oh, this is fucking.
No, I didn't feel that way. I didn't feel that way.
Only you. I've been talking about it all day. I can't wait to delete this shit.
What about Manny? Manny did the same thing. He enjoyed all of it too.
I did it, and I did it before you.
Manny likes comic books.
That has nothing to do with it.
And I stopped for a little bit because I went back to the Division because of the global event.
That ain't my fault.
That is not my fault. I'm just so tired of doing the same damn crimes in each district. That's repetitive.
This is, I think the problem with the way you went about it is it because you decided to save everything toward the end.
No, I didn't. I did all the side missions. I'm talking about the crimes. The crimes is the street crimes I saved to the end. But all the side missions I did. I didn't know, like I didn't pay attention that I had to do 100% completion of crime mission. I thought that was story missions and side missions.
No, man,
you just stop a car.
There's only like five. There's only five missions. There's only five missions.
There's a lot of bases. There's a lot of base challenges. Then you have the Taskmaster challenge. Then you have the Black.
I did all that stuff while I was playing the game.
I did all that early. All that was done before I even finished the story.
Okay.
I'm doing all the crime missions.
Yeah, but you don't, like Manny said, you only have 5 crimes per borough
You
or
only,
whatever
you only
district.
have to hang out
Yeah.
in an area for a little while. Most of the time, when the crimes come pretty damn quick.
Yeah, you could crank.
I have to
I
keep
could- you
pressing
could-
the hike
yeah, you
not
could
for
crank
me.
out the
I
crimes
gotta
in like
keep-
2 hours, bro. That's what
You
that's
keep
how
saying
it's-
that. I've been doing
yeah.
it over 2 hours.
Well, there's something wrong with the way you're playing there, because I cranked that shit
I'm
out
not
real
dying.
fast.
It just
You know.
takes forever.
Yeah. Anyway, what's your game of the year so far, man?
God of War, he said.
So, oh yeah, okay. Brett, go ahead. So far, game of
I
the
love
year.
how like Adam like points out some issues that he has with Spider-Man, and then suddenly everyone just like jumped down his throat as if he's playing the game wrong. Like that's actually something that I've been thinking about. Like, is it possible to play a game wrong? But I think that's a question
Yes.
for another show.
Yeah, that is
Have you
definitely.
seen the guy playing Cuphead when the
Yeah,
tutorial-
exactly. I answered your question. What's going on, hip hop gamer in the fucking chat? What is going on, brother? He says game of the year, God of War, of the generation. He says facts. I
go.
can't
See?
argue with that. What's going on, man? Yeah, Brian, I think that's your answer. Cuphead. That's playing a game wrong.
But then wouldn't that be able to be like the ultimate like comeback against everyone's complaint against any game? It's just that
You're
play the
doing
game
it
wrong.
all wrong.
You're doing it all
Yeah,
wrong.
like I can come around and say, oh, everyone that plays Last of Us, they played it wrong because their outlook is different from my outlook. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, you can say that. No one's going to stop you from saying that.
That's
you
really
know?
weird.
You know, no one's going to stop you from saying that.
Here's the thing. I mean, to go off of that sort of topic, yeah, it is also relative to actually the person that's actually playing it. Something that might seem like a burden for one person may not seem like a burden for somebody else. Maybe, the rational way of thinking this is like maybe, Adam did not enjoy, obviously did not enjoy the additional things that happened in that game. It's
it's the filler I don't like. I love the story.
Have you played games with Adam? He does play shit wrong sometimes.
I hate the fillers. Even games that I finished, I hate the fillers. I said
it definitely feels like filler because there's only really about maybe 10 or 12 types of crimes that just kind of repeats.
That's what I'm saying, and I'm constantly doing for each district. I could understand if I had to do it for one big area, but now every district, same shit. Stop the car.
But it's so fucking fast and easy. It doesn't even matter, you know. Like I cranked that shit out in a night.
The time to put. I don't see. I'm trying my best to do it. I'm not dying.
Yeah, I don't know what you're doing wrong, man. Because I did that shit in a night. It was easy.
Well, this is like for me. I don't use the subways. I just swing everywhere I need to go.
Swinging.
And like you're swinging, like let's say you're swinging from like Midtown Manhattan to the financial district, like you'll knock out like you'll just get like a call from like what's it called, like a crime or something, and then oh shit, like you're like a dog, it's like oh, and then you'll just like go do it, and then like you don't have to do anything else in that district again. You'll just keep going to the financial district and do your little quest or whatever you have to do there, and then like you'll just like it's cyclical. You'll just do crimes as you go, and they'll just add up.
Yeah, man.
And that's what's happening. I just find it boring.
Well, you just like okay, that's fine. Anyway, let's keep answering this fucking question. Chris, game of the year so far, go.
For me, it would be a draw right now. I have to go over it in my head between God of War and Monster Hunter World.
Oh, that's
I really enjoyed the shit out of Monster Hunter World, and it was great playing with you guys and doing raids and all this shit. That was fucking fantastic. But God of War had such a good story. Like, everything about that game was polished and so good. And saying boy over and over again, and Kratos beat the shit out of it. It's so satisfying, like playing as Kratos. So, like, you had that. So that's where I have to reconcile. It's like, man, God of War was so good, but Monster Hunter was such a good experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure, man.
And by the way, this is not my conclusive game of the year. This could change because, like, maybe I could just think about something from God of War. It's like what Chris is mentioning. It's like, God damn it. And then Monster Hunter, it's like, fuck. So you by the end of the year, maybe I'll just change my mind.
Yeah, I mean, if we're gonna go purely on like hours, that's already like my number one right there easily.
Monster Hunter?
Yeah, because just in terms of hours. Here's the thing, I've been thinking about this question because, like, objectively speaking, I want to say God of War because it's just the best game that did come out. But like personally, it's actually, man, people are gonna hate me right now, man. It's a toss up between Monster Hunter World and Dragon Quest XI. And what they both have in common is, besides the fact they're Japanese games, they're games I did not expect to be playing that I fucking loved. You know, like the experiences were just so good. You know, but yeah.
Why would anybody hate you for that?
Because I didn't pick a Sony game. That's why. You know how it is, man. They come after your boy.
You know, the thing is that, I mean, these sorts of, it doesn't, you know, these sort of situations, they don't actually need to be the most greatest and most advanced game out there. It could just be something as simple as a game that you enjoyed.
Yeah,
playing.
the game hit me, man. So yeah, you know what?
I hate him a little.
Yeah, there you go. I like that. Objectively speaking, God of War and Spider-Man are the best games that came out this year. But yeah, personally, fuck it, Monster Hunters. Monster Hunters is my game of the year so far. You know. All right. Brett, did you go yet?
No, I did not.
Go ahead, man.
I'm actually surprised you guys jumped on Monster Hunter because I was going to say that the mechanics just the amount of times we're like, oh damn, watch that one monster fuck that other monster up.
Let them fight.
That's what I'm saying, man. And we had fun. Yeah, that shit. The
It's a
stream.
co-op
Yeah,
game. You say you
Motherfuckers
enjoyed
are
it
cheating
more
my
for
mind
the
right
co-op
now.
aspect.
yeah, man. That shit was too much fun.
Yeah, there's so many epic moments, man. You guys, fuck, man. It's hard. It's definitely, for me, it's definitely between those three: God of War, Spider-Man, and Monster Hunter. Those, fuck, man.
I think that's down what it is for everybody. Like, it was such a good multiplayer experience. Like,
Yeah.
I think what it's going to come down to for me, because the other one is, of course, fucking Flip Spider-Man. I think what it's going to come down to is the Spider-Man DLC will probably have a lot to do with where it lands in terms of game of the year, because we've had a chance to see Monster Hunter deliver some of its downloadable content. We've had a chance to see Monster Hunter expand and evolve a little bit. We know that Spider-Man is set to do rapid release DLC. So by the end of the year, we will have seen the full, package of DLCs that come along with Spider-Man, which should be by then viewed as the complete game when we go to do our end of the year. So I really think that right now it's kind of a toss-up, but if Spider-Man comes out with 3 really good DLCs, it might pull ahead definitively. But Monster Hunter is hard to fucking beat, man.
Yeah, and Brett, remember, this is me. I'm not a multiplayer guy. I love the multiplayer in that fucking game. Playing with you guys was the shit.
Dude, there's so many... it definitely wins hands down in the terms of, like, when you think back through the game, like, yeah, there were, like, several moments in Spider-Man where you're like, dude, this is fucking awesome. There were way more moments in Monster Hunter where I was like, holy shit, did you see that?
Oh man, and that's the game we came back to several times during the year. It's not like we just played in January. That was it. We played it like consistently almost. If you think about it.
And it was the one game that in quite a long time where all of us were playing it.
For the most part
around the same time. Yeah.
Yeah, man, it was a good game, man. Monster Hunters, man. All right, who didn't go?
Me.
Eddie.
Yeah. By the way, letting you guys know we're gonna go over 2 hours tonight. Just saying, we got a lot of questions and they're all good. So go ahead, Manny.
Okay, so it's a little bit difficult for me because I haven't finished all of God of War yet. I kind of snuck Spider-Man in there because I figured it would be a shorter to complete that one. So it's kind of sad, but I've only really played about 3 games this year, which is
out
crazy.
of them. Yeah, out of all of them that you played, what is your game of the year?
I mean, dude, you almost accidentally platinum Spider-Man.
I almost did.
I mean, you didn't. You pretty much did 95% of the platinum without having to grind for it. You just did it because you wanted to.
No, I did it. I did it alongside of whatever I did in the game normally. In other words, I completed the game as I completed the game all the way through as I was playing it, as opposed to completing getting the ending and then completing more.
I mean, that kind of speaks the number of people that I've seen plating this game, like, kind of speaks volumes to me. Like, fuck, I might plat this game, and I never plat a game.
It still sounds like it's low. I mean, look at the trophy for it. Listen,
under
very
9%.
rare, ultra rare. I'm like, are you kidding me? But
no,
yeah.
it's actually at very rare right now,
No,
as
it's at
opposed to
very
ultra rare.
But
Which
then
most platinums are like very or ultra rare.
But it's not even rare because it's rare.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I don't know.
Well, I mean,
but I think among like guys who actually do finish games, they're actually going to get the platinum. Just the fact that Brett is considering it is already like pretty.
It's not
shocking,
it's not a super difficult.
No, but I think
But I'm
it
considering
speaks to the fact that people really enjoy this game. They want to get the most out of it. I think that's what Brett's talking about here. You know,
Yeah, that's also something I didn't mention. The game is so good, it makes me want to platinum it.
yeah, man.
I mean,
Like it's just a joy to play. You know.
I would say the one thing about Spider-Man is the just like with the original Spider-Man 2, and Chris can attest to this, and Tony, those of us who've played Spider-Man 2 for PlayStation 2 or Xbox, once you've completed the whole game, you still found yourself wanting to go back and play the game, swinging around the city.
Check this out. By the way, Riku platinumed the game 2 weeks ago, right? He's still playing it because it's just fun, you know?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I still play. I platinumed it. I was still playing it.
Yeah, it's just a fun game.
I'm doing some, something specific, based on the game for New York Comic Con.
Oh shit!
And, it's just a print, but I'm taking screenshots of the game, and then I'm still like I'm taking screenshots, and then I end up playing the game for another 2 hours.
Yes,
doing the stupid crime things.
Yeah, it's amazing, man.
Yeah.
All right, who didn't go?
Oh, I didn't say the game of the year. You know what? I'm gonna go with Monster Hunter.
Nice.
It's the Hunter.
All right, everybody went?
Yeah.
All right.
Except for me.
All right, I'll watch that. Ask, considering how I'm just gonna read it the way he wrote. I didn't bother to edit this. Considering the rock that Telltale hit the gaming industry and the roller coaster Capcom has been on, if Capcom ever to go under, who would you trust the Street Fighter franchise to, if not Capcom? Interesting.
So if they were going to go under,
let's just say Capcom just went bankrupt and they sold the Street Fighter franchise. Who would you want that franchise in the hands of?
Well, I mean, just to get the one thing out of the way, the only reason why, Capcom closed down that studio because they weren't officially that wasn't a Street Fighter studio. That was their Dead Rising studio, and the Dead Rising games were kind of on a decline. So they probably just busted down the studio because also it's very expensive in that specific city to have something like that. So but
they still have the other studio in Japan. That's
they still. I feel like for at least for what Capcom is doing, they're kind of pulling back a lot of the a lot of their stuff back to Japan a little bit more, where they have their own Japanese studios do the things as opposed to outsourcing or creating new studios in other countries. But that said, who would I say to handle Street Fighter games? There's only one company that can do that. Arc System Works.
Thank you. I was just about to say the same thing. Arc System Works. There's no other. Next. Okay, guys. Who else would you want them to take over, or did we just drop the ultimate bomb? And
I think that's the big one.
Yeah, I agree with you guys.
Yeah, Arc System Works.
I'd be interested to see NetherRealm take a crack at it.
I'd be interested.
They don't play like Mortal Kombat.
It'll be a Mortal Kombat game.
No,
Yeah.
okay, here's the reason. Because they did such a good job adapting the original feel of Mortal Kombat. I don't think they just make a clone of that same game and slap a Street Fighter skin on it. I think
that's what they did with that's what they did with Justice League.
Oh Jesus! Is it? Oh, I guess. Well, I mean, Justice League doesn't have a precedent on it. There's no way that it should play. I think I don't know. I feel like I would hope that if they did it, they would actually do what they did with Mortal Kombat. Go back to Street Fighter and be like, okay, what makes this game fun? What is this game trying to do? And let's build off of that.
Nah, they would make a Mortal Kombat game.
When they first remade Mortal Kombat, you're like, this feels like a Mortal Kombat game should feel. It didn't feel foreign or redone. It just felt upgraded.
That's because it's being made by the same people who made Mortal Kombat games. It's not like some company that inherited it. It's Ed Boon's company. He's like, I know Mortal Kombat games. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's the same guys.
The closest approximation of a Capcom game is an Arc System Works game.
They have Capcom guys working at that company,
Yeah.
And Manny, they could give it a cartoon art style,
Yeah, they can go back to a really cool, a very classic sort of art style.
Oh shit!
Other than Arc System Works, who?
Yeah. No, that's the only one. That's the answer. We can't change that. That's it. That's Arc System Works.
But I mean, that's your answer, Brett. NetherRealms, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
By the way, shout out to Tennessee Sooner. He goes, "Yo, I'm late, but this is my first live show. Awesome, dude.
Whoa. Thank you.
It's a good thing we're actually going a little bit over tonight. Otherwise, you would have missed it completely. You know. All right. So next question is from Mr. Hussein. He has 2 questions for us. All right. Okay. What is with port begging Nintendo and Xbox fanboys? Don't they understand capitalism? Castlevania Requiem got announced, but people don't understand that Sony funded it and is using their proprietary PSP emulation engine. Exactly. You can't get those games on those systems because it's running on fucking Sony engine. You know,
Well,
simple as that.
The Xbox one is still backward compatible.
Yeah,
Just play that one.
right. You can do that. There you go. I don't think we have anything more to say about that. It's like, yeah, dude, it's a PSP engine. That's it. That's why you're not getting it on Xbox.
They already had something working. They already had an emulator already working for their thing. So obviously they figured it. They had it working for Vita, so they obviously could get it working for the PlayStation 4.
The only thing I don't understand is why didn't they put the PSP version of Dracula X on with it? You know?
Exactly.
Almost like the other one. Yeah.
Yeah, no, like I said, it would make too much sense, man. All right, we don't need to go further into that one. It's Sony's fucking engine, man. That's it. All right, the second one, with recent rumors around Microsoft buying more studios like Obsidian, what other studios do you think Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo should purchase? I think Sony should buy Bluepoint and Insomniac. Okay.
I mean,
Bluepoint's a good one.
Those are actually quite good answers. Dude.
Yeah, I kind of like Insomniac being independent, though. To be honest,
I do too. Like, because it means that Insomniac can go to different companies and make other studios and make other awesome games.
Yeah,
Which one's Bluepoint?
They do they did the remake of Shadow of the Colossus and a bunch of other remakes. You know, they're excellent with that. So yeah, Sony should buy them. You know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't want them to have them either, because it just means that they can't hit other games.
Yeah.
You know. Use their skills.
I mean, geez, Microsoft bought enough studios this last year.
You know,
they even wait for We Happy Few to drop and look like a turd before they bought those guys. Forgot who made that game.
Yeah, the game still looks kind of meh.
Volition.
Oh, it plays like crap.
What happened, Adam?
I saw reviews. Man.
Yeah. What happened?
Nothing.
All right. He just mumbling answers and shit. Yo, man,
someone should buy Telltale.
Oh, it's too late for that, man.
That was the shit. They for sale. Like no one even knew. Like, if you're having money troubles, then just reach out. Hell, do a Kickstarter, do a Patreon, do something for real. You want some stock in this company? You want to do? Just jump on, because we are broke.
Come on over. Yeah,
they did nothing. Poor management.
Poor management.
It's poor management.
They did a poor job. Like,
it's not like
I don't feel bad. Deflection is everything.
Yeah.
Poor management.
Like, I feel sorry for those fuckers, man.
Yeah, they really fucked. Man,
they screwed people over. That's why when they were like, "Oh, well, we may work on it." Fuck, I don't want you to work on shit. I want you to. And the sad thing is that they don't really have any assets to sell, because none of those licenses they owned. People are like, "Oh, well, someone else." No, it's contracts that they had.
They licensed properties. They don't have anything original.
They don't really own any. Yeah, I don't think they.
You know what? I'm gonna say, Sony, you don't need to buy any more companies. You're good. So is Microsoft. Work with the shit you already got, man.
Yeah, Microsoft bought more than enough studios. It's like, make that shit work.
Exactly.
Unless just out of petty rage they buy Platinum.
Yeah.
Can they just make new studios instead of buying up?
They did. They have one make.
How about that? Just make your own studios, man. Stop buying shit. You know.
They have a new.
No, but you're talking about in general. Just make new studios instead of just buying up other ones.
That requires poaching and shit, and
I got one.
Bitch about that too.
Microsoft buy BioWare from EA. Just get them out of their hands, man. That's all I want.
I mean, I would say that would be a smart idea for them. But
and have BioWare do avatars and shit, you know.
But didn't they pass on them? I could have swore that was an option a long time ago.
They did,
and they went with EA.
Yeah. All right, guys, come
Spike
on.
used to be an Xbox exclusive.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Mass
that's
Effect.
right. All right, any other studios? I don't think anybody cares about this. Yeah.
Microsoft should buy Studio MHDR.
Oh shit, yeah, that'd be a good one. Yeah, make more Cuphead games. You know,
Cuphead was sick and it did pretty well. So might as well just keep that franchise in that studio. And
exactly.
Somebody should buy Konami.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sony buy
Well,
Konami now,
remember,
please.
Microsoft wanted to buy them, but the Japanese company can't sell to Western.
Yeah, so Sony buys them.
Sony buys them.
They make Dale Kojima president of Konami as bittersweet revenge,
Yeah.
and then
Then
he reforms the whole fucking thing.
That's it, and you get real Metal Gear games again.
Yeah, we'll get real everything, man.
Yeah, that's
Sound
it.
kills, shit.
Yeah, there you
I
go.
want to see BioWare by themselves.
Oh shit! Yeah, just become independent. You know, I'm down with that because EA's about to kill him.
Everybody that is under the EA umbrella, I'd like to see them all just buy themselves out.
Yeah. Hey, this is interesting. So Joey says Sony hasn't bought a new studio since Sucker Punch in 2011. They mainly been building new studios and expanding currently owned studios. Yeah, man, I like that.
Yeah, and closing down some studios.
Yeah.
They did close a branch of the guys that made Horizon.
Yeah. By the way, Pat Hectic. This is not a video impression, but it's funny. Which one of you can beat me at chess? That's Carlos, man. He'll whip your fucking ass, man.
Yeah, if you want to play me.
I'm talking shit. This guy may even whip your ass, bro. All right, hey, there you go. JD Gamer says Studio 8 MDHR and Moon Studios. Moon Studios, they do the Ori games. Yeah, buy them shits, man. Make some games, Microsoft.
Good studios.
You know? All right, let's move on here, man. JD Gamer, he goes, can you guys step into the Forza debate? I.e., can a racing game be considered game of the year?
Yeah,
Why not?
why not?
Yeah, it's any game can.
Absolutely.
It's a game. Come on, I see Tony going.
I would never consider a racing game of the year contender.
Not even Burnout Paradise?
Nope.
If people can say that what's it called, like Walking Dead by Telltale was game of the year, then
Yeah,
anything can be
one game of the
yeah,
year.
in
too.
my
That
opinion.
at least has a story, so I could understand that. But a
Oh.
racing game?
Now that's
Doesn't have a
that's a silly way to see things.
No, it isn't. That's
just
my
because,
way,
just because
motherfucker.
a game
Yeah.
because a game has a story doesn't exactly mean that it's automatically a contender for game of the year.
For me, it is.
Anything that is a game can be considered for game of the
Yeah.
year.
Oh, no. Objectively speaking, yes, any game could be, even a fucking mobile game could be considered game of the year. I'm talking about me personally. I would never consider that a game of the year. A racing game, nope.
Okay.
You know? But yeah, objectively speaking, sure. If it's a game, it could be game of the year. You know? But a racing game, hell no.
Are we talking about an individual's opinion, or like if we came together as a, like in our instance, are we talking about individual panelists, or if we said Forza was game of the year as a panel? Because I think it's fine for it to be personal game of the year, but it's too niche for any conglomerate or group to name it collectively game of the year, I think.
That I agree with that. So it's a racing thing. It's like it's not that mainstream, you know.
I mean, you know, it's equivalent to like having a sci-fi movie being nominated for best picture at the Academy Awards. It's just one of those things. It can get nominated. Might get nominated, but it's going to be even harder for the fact that it is a racing game to get a game of the year.
Ooh, he wants us to clarify. Can you guys clarify what genres shouldn't be allowed? Hey, JD, okay, do you want us to answer this objectively or personally? Because you're going to get two radically different answers. So I need you to clarify that for us. How do you want us to answer this? Objectively or personally? And
Not only that, it also depends on what came out that year. Could be crap, you know. And I'm like, oh damn.
Yeah, the racing game is just the only game that was any good.
I mean,
by default, right?
Tell people from last gen what was the best racing. Everybody always seems to say Burnout Paradise. So what else came out during that window? I don't remember.
Oh, okay. He wants both. He wants both answers.
Officially, nothing is out of the.
Yeah, if it's a game, it could be game.
It
of the
can
year.
be, yeah, any game can be considered for game of the year, no matter how much because once you start drawing lines and sands, and then it's like, okay, then that's not right. You know,
Wait, you're talking about individually or as like a group? So you're saying as a group officially, like as the Throwdown, anything is fair game?
no, this is objective. This is objective of the objectively. Personally, this is a different thing.
Yeah. Johnny Wellman, I'm guessing he's a Forza fan. It wants us to know that Forza 3 sold more games than God of War. Yeah, that's great.
Forza's a good game.
Yeah.
It's still niche. Like I would say, like personally,
he says it's not niche because it sold 10 million.
It's not niche also because there's more car lovers out there. There's plenty of people that buy it just for the cars.
Brett, what do you class as niche?
Because technically 10 million, that is not niche.
Again, like to me, like that's like a lot.
Telltale,
and especially if it's exclusive to like one platform, it's like, and it's a platform that's losing this war. So it shows that there's some love going on there, and it's not just like a small amount of people.
I guess where I would personally draw the line would be anything that caters towards just one facet or experience probably wouldn't, in my opinion, get the general vote of Game of the Year because you're going to have people who enjoy different things. So, one person may love Call of Duty. That's a pretty big segment of a market, but you're generally not going to say, in my opinion, that a Call of Duty game is the Game of the Year unless it offers really compelling storyline or things that pull other people in. Same with any fighting game. Same with any racing game. Like, yeah, if you have a racing game that has an amazing story and something that adds things that pull in people from even outside that genre, sure. But I think a Game of the Year, generally speaking, if it's from a group of people, it's because you have several people in that group who all agree. And you may have one racing fan, one RPG fan, one fan from this other category, and it's the games that they kind of all agree on. Like, yeah, that was a really fucking good game, and that's where your Game of the Year comes from. So, I would be automatically suspicious if anybody came out and said, well, Call of Duty is, this year Call of Duty is our Game of the Year, because it's like, yeah, I understand that, but that still only caters to a certain subsection of gamers.
That's a big subsection. Call of Duty sells more than most games, man.
No,
but then under that logic, Flappy Birds is like.
Well, hold on, I gotta stop the show right now. So Pat Hetic says that I sound like a Miami Cuban guy. I'm a fucking New Yorker, bro. I'm not Cuban. I'm Dominican. Get out of here with that bullshit. Anyway, go on.
I think
guys.
I've met a Cuban once.
Yeah, Cubans don't sound like Dominicans, man. In Miami, and certainly sound like New Yorkers. Actually, there are some New Yorkers in Miami, though. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I don't know. So anyway, to answer the question, yeah, me personally, I would never consider a racing game of the year. Fuck no. That's
By
crazy.
the way, and I think Joey just confirmed it. I'm like, when did Forza Horizon 3 sell as much as God of War? I never. And Joey says Forza Horizon 3 didn't sell 10 million copies. It had over 10 million.
I think that shit don't count then, son. That shit didn't sell no 10 million. Get out of here with that, man. Get out of here with that, man. Yeah, that shit didn't sell no 10 million.
I just feel like a Game of the Year, as endorsed by an organization, should have, while not something for everybody, at least appeal to more than one facet of gaming.
Yeah, no, I agree with Brett on that one. It needs more than just like, hey, one genre. It needs to be multifaceted.
Well, do you think that applies to movies, like these rated R movies? Look at the Avengers and stuff like that.
I don't even care about movies, to be honest.
They would say, but I'm just saying, because those are cutting out. That's why the whole reason why they kept going to PG-13 to get that bigger audience. But a lot of the rated R movies are being nominated for like best movie of the year. And that's just limiting to just adults.
I see what you're saying.
But a lot of those movies are multifaceted. Like they tell you're not going to get a movie nominated for movie of the year. Transformers is not going to get nominated for movie of the year, right? Like only a movie that actually has a beloved IP and tells a good story would get nominated. So therefore, it is kind of catering to different groups. It's not just people who are going to see it because of the IP. It's a good story by itself.
Wait. Hold on. Did I understand? You said it has to be part of like. Could you repeat that again, Brett?
Wait. By the way, take this how you will, because this is VG charts. Forza Horizon 3 sold 3.82 million.
Yeah, God of War sold 3 million, and like,
yeah, that's 3 weeks.
I mean, it's a respectable number, but like, if the experience only offers one thing, like it's the same reason, like no matter how many people buy and love a fighting game.
But the thing is that here's the thing: who are you like? If this the way these sorts of things goes, like what if there is just so happens to be that one racing game that everybody likes, and it ends up being getting nominated.
Crosses the threshold where
by the way,
if it's a racing game,
story.
No, I was just saying Rocket League was that for a lot of people. Actually, Manny, that's a good point. You
yeah, I mean, you can't say. Are you saying that you can't? That's a game like Rocket League can't possibly end up being a game of the year for a lot of places. It is a possibility, just like any of it can be a possibility.
I don't think Rocket League is a racing game. Again, that we're talking about.
But the thing is, to be honest, it's a sports game.
Yeah, it's a sports game,
and it still runs on.
It's also a game I wouldn't.
It still runs under
your. It's a hybrid. It's a multifaceted approach that combines sports games with race.
In its essence, it's a sports game.
It's a sport game. You're playing soccer with cars.
It's a sports game with cars.
Exactly. That's all you do. It's just playing soccer. You're just playing.
So it's essentially a soccer game.
It's a sport game. Yeah.
But I mean, again, by that sort of definition, it should. I mean, to be honest, it still has the right to be nominated.
By my definition, it would still have the right, because it's not just a soccer game. It's not just a driving game. It's a fusion game. It appeals to multiple audiences. So it doesn't. I mean, that was the qualification I gave earlier.
So in other words, just if you have a bunch of multiple things, it automatically means that you could be nominated. That doesn't make absolutely no sense.
I don't think that a game should be able to be nominated for Game of the Year if it appeals to only one audience.
How do you know that it's not one audience? What if a game somehow attracted people to playing a certain type of game?
And it wouldn't be up for nomination of Game of the Year.
Brett, did you disagree when Journey was winning a lot of Game of the Year's awards for a lot of places?
Personally, I did. I thought it was a lot of back padding. I thought it was a lot of people being look how insightful and artistic. It's the same bullshit I see at fine art festivals. Don't get me wrong, it was good, but there were so many people snapping their spine to suck their own dick about that game. Like, yeah, I get it. It tells a story without a narrative. It tells a story visually. If this is really that mind blowing to you, like I'm sorry, but like it's understandable and clear what it does, and it was charming, but it wasn't fucking revolutionary. It's like it was the first time these people. They told a story, but they didn't say anything.
So Brett, here's the thing. But here's the thing. Again, something to be Game of the Year also doesn't need to be revolutionary.
Okay,
I'm not saying
Brett, hold on, Brett. Brian, go ahead, man.
Okay, Brett, I totally agree with you. Journey was not revolutionary in what he did, but given the context of how games are, in that they just spew exposition at you, it was bucking the curve in terms of games. Because as far as I remember, like not many games like in that generation, or even like in the last couple of years surrounding it, have actually done that. So hence, it was quite policy.
It agreed to be. I agree that it should be recognized. I guess that's one of those things where I can see why it would be nominated, but I don't think that it should necessarily have been the one that won.
Hold on, JD.
JD Gamer.
Yeah, he wants to keep us on track. I thank you for that. But the thing is, you switched the question now, bro. Because your original question was, should a racing game qualify? Now he wants us to answer what game shouldn't qualify. And we already said, objectively speaking, no game is disqualified.
Yeah, everything.
Tony said personally he wouldn't put a racing game.
Yeah, but he doesn't want us personally. So I would not put a racing game there. I wouldn't put Journey on there either. I wouldn't put Rocket League on there.
Why would you put those?
Would not. I would not put those.
And here's my problem with all of that is like,
but
what
it's
if
personal,
there is that? What if there is that one game that changes your mind?
Yeah, I'm glad you bring that up, because I had a very strict rule. I do not put remakes as my top 10 games of the year. I had to change that last year with Metroid, because Metroid 2 was so different from the Game Boy original that it was based on. It was almost a new game, but I still cheated because it was still a remake. So yeah, it does happen sometimes, but as a guy who's been playing games for most of his life, I've never said, oh shit, this racing game's the game of the year. Never fucking happened. And I doubt that's going to change now. Like I don't see what a racing game could do. It's just,
here's my point. You may say that a fighting game is your game of the year because you enjoyed that fighting game so much, right?
Yeah.
But for that fighting game to be the Throwdown Panel's Game of the Year, would mean that we have a whole panel of people who just like fighting games, which would mean that we're not really having a diverse opinion.
Yeah, but by the way, let's and I'm glad you bring that up. Let's settle the rules here when we're talking about this stuff. Are we talking about the industry as a whole, or just the guys in this panel?
There's a difference. There's a difference between what you personally think is Game of the Year and what a conglomeration of people should, or as an organization, put up as Game of the Year. For instance, there's a difference between what Tony says is Game of the Year and what the Throwdown crew says is Game of the Year. I think Tony can say a racing game is Game of the Year all day long, or a fighting game. There's nothing off limits. But if you're asking for what is the Throwdown Panel's Game of the Year, if it comes up to be a fighting game or a driving game or a game that generally appeals to only a subsection of people that is not the majority, I think at that point you are showing bias on the panel or whatever organization that you're coming from. If as an organization somebody says this Forza is Game of the Year, you can tell that pretty much everybody working or voting on that Game of the Year is a driving game fan. It's not a good cross section of opinions. It's an echo chamber. That's why I make the distinction that as an organization, generally you're not going to prop up a game for Game of the Year if it only appeals to a certain subsection. Now, if it's a driving game that transcends driving games and is such a good driving game that other people who don't normally play driving games are playing this, it's gained a huge mass appeal to a number of different audiences. And at that point, you may have the guy who normally likes RPGs being like, normally like RPGs, but that driving game was so fucking good that I'm going to name that my Game of the Year. And then, yes, you can have it come up. But that's generally more because it does something revolutionary or new, and draws in a different crowd. The way that, people who don't necessarily play soccer games played Rocket League. Does that make sense at all?
No, I understood you the first time.
Yeah, I understood it, but I don't agree that.
Oh, no, I actually do agree with your assessment on that, Brett. Like there should be a standard. I completely agree with that.
I don't agree that there isn't that there is ones over others. I do believe that anything should have the possibility of becoming the Game of the Year. It doesn't matter what game it is, from mobile games to whatever. If the majority of people agreed that this game is that Game of the Year, then it should be the Game of the Year. Doesn't matter.
Okay, that's a good answer. Chris, what do you say?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, if circumstances warrant it, like you say, you don't really have objective reviews. You can't have 10 out of 10s, and it's subjective. It's how you feel about it. So if a game presents enough content, even if it's racing, then yeah, it can totally be a Game of the Year. Like I loved the old Need for Speed Hot Pursuit. I thought that's one of my favorite racing games ever. Now, if that year was dry, like that would be like I had so much fun with that game that I could have been like, yep, there it is. Game.
Yeah, you know what? Under that circumstance, then that's when I would actually nominate like personal Game of the Year, a racing game. If that year is just particularly dry and that was the only game I actually enjoyed, yeah, then it would qualify.
But we started talking about a Forza game. Like we're not talking about something revolutionary here.
Again, let's say for the sake.
Yeah, but a game doesn't need to be revolutionary.
It doesn't need to be. Again, Game of the Year doesn't actually need to be revolutionary. It needs to be. It's usually an agreed upon. A game that everybody can agree that this is the game,
or the majority, because not everybody's going to agree.
Not everybody's going to agree on it. But yeah, again, and also it's why other companies have different games of the years, different places.
Well, I mean, I think who said it? The Truth said it right there. He goes, "This is why you have categories."
And I also think that sometimes the categories things can also lock down the potential of something becoming a Game of the Year. It's the same reason why, remember in the Academy was saying they wanted to put best, best, popular movie category, which totally means just like the best animation category means that an animated film can never become movie of the year. at the Academy Awards because they already have a category for it.
Yeah, so let's just have a racing game thing, so we don't have to worry about that for game of
I
the
mean,
year.
to be honest, there usually is a racing category, but obviously nowadays, again, as Brett has said, there's not a lot of racing games out there. So if Forza was going to be in the racing category, and you notice that the racing category often gets combined
With sports.
with sports in the because there's not enough of racing games coming out at the same time.
Yeah, that is true.
You're gonna be just Forza and Need for Speed.
By the way, not to sound like an asshole, but I feel like we've done a lot of talking without actually answering this question directly.
I think that, like, okay, for the same reason somebody who might be arguing that pizza is one of the best foods, they might bring up the point because everybody loves pizza, right? Like, that kind of seems like the same approach. Like, I just don't understand how you can prop up a game for Game of the Year knowing that a majority of people aren't necessarily going to enjoy it.
If you look at the Academy Awards, just for the sake of conversation, movies that are not popular win the Academy Awards a lot of the time.
And it's so stupid.
It's not stupid because they're appreciating the movie for its own merits, its own merits, as opposed to just being the popular kid on the street. Understand?
Yeah, well, the Academy Awards or whatever awards are all fucking stupid anyway.
I mean, yeah, but the thing is that's what they come from, where it's like, as opposed to it just being, hey, look, it's the thing that made the most money and it's the thing that everybody went to see. It's the thing that they believe has the most merits. That's what I think, and that's what I believe when we're nominating or going for something to be Game of the Year. It doesn't matter what it is, as long as it's a game, and as long as as long as the majority of the whatever panel or whatever you want to talk about agrees that yes, this was the best game that we've played.
Yeah. All right. I think we're just going in circles now. So let's go on to the last question. And yes, you're right. As long as it's not pineapple pizza, then we're good. All right. Last question here from Mr. All Day Digital, man. By the way, yeah. Adam had to dip and stuff because he's got to work in the mornings. All right.
Man, he's got shit.
All right. Here's an interesting one. Will Red Dead Redemption 2 revolutionize open world games?
No.
Little early to call that, man, but I'm going to go with no on that one. Few games are revolutionary these days. I think it's going to be an excellent open world game, but revolutionary? What was the last open world game that you felt was revolutionary?
Assassin's Creed.
I guess I can't even name one off the top of my head.
GTA 3.
GTA 3. Well, that was kind of the catalyst.
Yeah, the wild.
All right, settle down with that, Brett.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
I can prove this point. The climb mechanic in it has been adopted by other games. Just on that principle alone, on the sole principle of people like climbing shit without climbing points. Like, it added that to the repertoire, the bag of tricks that most games coming out are starting to use. Like,
Assassin's Creed did that first.
Wild?
No, Assassin's Creed did it by connecting you with ledges and shit like that. That was adopted, and that was revolutionary for the time. And then with Breath of the Wild, they actually broke away from it and allowed you to climbing.
It's just what Assassin's Creed did, but just better.
But without just making you stick to the walls.
But ironically enough, I don't know if Assassin's Creed took this from Breath of the Wild, because later that year, Assassin's Creed Origins did the same shit. Climb wherever the fuck you want.
By the way,
no restrictions.
By the way, if you think about it, it is a tad bit lazy when you make the characters kind of stick to anything.
I agree with that. I mean,
because
here's the thing. Gameplay wise, it's very convenient, but you shouldn't be able to do that.
You shouldn't be able to stick to the walls like fucking Spider-Man and just shimmy
you
up
should
a
be
wall.
able to find handholds, and you shouldn't have to look for little yellow flags or bullshit. I'm looking.
No, but I mean, Assassin's Creed always didn't have big yellow handholds, but they did have little parts that stuck out of the wall, which offered a bit of puzzle to it, where it's like, okay, I can climb up this building, but there's these different things.
I'm not arguing against Assassin's Creed, but I'm saying you can't say that the Breath of the Wild climbing mechanics with the stamina wheel and everything like that, that it hasn't been adapted by other games.
But it's like saying, okay, like something already exists. It was just tweaked a little bit better, or not even, I wouldn't say better, but it was tweaked a little bit, and then like a lot of people do that same thing. It's like,
Yeah, like Halo did for dual stick shooters.
but like for example, Breath of the Wild did it, but Assassin's Creed did it the same year. I wouldn't say that they added that mechanic because of Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, I think they did it independently of each other. That's for sure.
And Spider-Man did it this year, and I wouldn't say that they did it because Breath of the Wild did it.
Yeah, Spider-Man could always stick to walls without handholds.
Exactly.
I don't think Spider-Man is quite the same thing.
It
What?
is.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Spider-Man fucking sticks to walls, guys. Come on now.
Yeah, but that's a mechanic. It's a mechanic that
It
you
is a
can climb
mechanic, but
over
that's
anything.
a mechanic inherent to the character. You know.
No, exactly. So Spider-Man did it first.
Yeah, but I think we agree. This game's not going to revolutionize things. It's just going to be really good.
I don't think it's going to change. It's going to change the world. I think I think revolutionary is a little bit. I think things will be added to it, but I don't think anything at this point. As far as
in general, video games, movies, whatever, you're not going to see much in the way of revolutionary anything. All you could hope for is like improvements. That's it. You know, improvements and a better like experience overall. You know,
that's why we were having a hard time coming up with answers, because it's like revolutionary is something that is so rare. Like if we had revolutions every year, then
it wouldn't matter. You know,
Portal,
open world.
Portal.
No, he's just saying it's revolutionary.
Yeah, but not open world.
No. Yeah, no, but the point is, how long ago was Portal? You know,
yeah, Portal. Oh, by the way, Brett, yeah, I completely agree. Portal.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. But my point is, like, revolutionary games come out like maybe once every decade, you know? So, yeah.
We haven't really been working towards that either. We were just working on polishing up the same tired mechanics we've been using. That's a big criticism in gaming right now.
Well, for some, like, to me, I've been saying that forever. Like, I don't care about revolution. I just want you to make it better. If you make it better, then I'm happy, you know?
Well,
and if it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's the other thing I believe,
they come
you know?
hand in hand. Like, we all thought the Nemesis system was going to be revolutionary.
Yeah, and then the second game came out.
I didn't think it was revolutionary. Sorry.
Who's bragging about being right, Manny?
Yeah, and Manny, a couple weeks ago, you actually did admit that it was a revolutionary thing.
I don't believe it now.
By the way,
don't change your mind, man.
I don't want to. Damn it! This might start a rabbit hole, but I'm gonna do it. And I think it did, but did the Souls saga revolutionize the industry? I think it did.
The Souls, like Souls games,
like Demon Souls, Dark Souls.
Really?
I don't think it revolutionized anything.
I don't think it. I think it influenced.
How did it revolutionize?
It revolutionized the way the industry made games. Because there's a lot of Souls clones.
Well, no, that's just influence.
That's influence. I was going to say that's influence. Yeah, it's influence. That's not revolution.
So it's if that's what I was going to say. Like if can you say like you can revolutionize something by the way an industry does something? Like Fortnite.
That's influence.
Or no, not Fortnite. Like whatever the first fucking battle royale game, I would say revolutionized the industry.
PUBG revolutionized the game industry by your very definition.
It did. It didn't.
It just
PUBG didn't start it. God damn it, Brian!
Whoever started,
you're doing this on purpose.
Whoever started,
but
whoever started this craze did revolutionise the industry.
That's influence. That's influence. You're conflating the two words, bro. You're conflating the two words.
So what is considered revolutionize? Because I'm with Carlos. I think anything that influences the standard practice of the industry should be considered revolutionary.
I disagree with that. It has to be, to me, a revolution means something completely that's never been seen before. Those games have been seen before. You know?
GTA 3, was it the first of its kind?
That's a revolution.
That's a revolution.
That's a revolution.
No, but was it the first of its kind?
Kind of, yeah.
I don't know. I honestly don't know the answer.
I mean, I think Quake was revolutionary.
Yeah.
I mean, that's when you had like true 3D stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
But what about Wolfenstein? That was before Quake.
No, but that was all 2.5D. That was all faking things with flat sprites and distance and all that stuff. So it's faking that 3D experience. Like if you walk around a character in Doom, you can't see it. They're just cutouts, right? They don't have depth or shape.
Polygons in general
started that.
Yeah, polygons in general revolution. See, that's revolutionary. Polygonal graphics and shit. You know.
I guess for me and probably for Brett, it's like like I agree also with your definition of revolutionary, but I would expand it to something that sort of like changed the industry. Like
I see.
Minecraft.
I see what you're saying. I'm not disagreeing. I think we're just disagreeing on the term, but I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
By the way, Capato says COD4 revolutionized the industry.
Oh, definitely. And COD4 didn't do anything different, really. Like it didn't
see, but I wouldn't call it. I don't think it revolutionized anything. It definitely had an insane impact on it, but it didn't really like revolutionize everything. It was just another, shooting game. The big difference was the online. It took what Halo was doing, just made it better, But I wouldn't call that a revolution. Halo, actually, Xbox Live and shit.
Oh, definitely.
That's a revolution. There you go.
You're saying that something would be considered a revolution if it inherently changes the way that you play games?
Yeah, it has to. Like, I'm just going by my definition of revolution. It's like you just completely altered the entire landscape by doing something completely different that no one has even done before.
That's fair. I'm not really sure about the semantics about the term revolutionize when it comes with games. So I'll if that's how the term is defined as, then
you're saying if it makes you play games in a whole new way, in a way that you haven't done before.
I know where you're going with this.
Does something that you haven't done.
This is what we call a secular conversation.
I know. I love fucking Brett. I love you, man. I know where you're going with this. Just say I'm gonna skip to it. I'm gonna hit.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry about the rabbit hole, by the way.
It was going on Reddit Infamy. Virtual reality. I know you were going with it.
No. I was going with
he was
Switch.
going to go back to Breath of the Wild and Switch.
No, I was asking about the
God
Switch.
damn it, Brett. No, don't bring up Switch. That's a bigger wormhole, rabbit hole, whatever. Than what I
No,
honestly, by Tony's standards.
No, by those standards, it is a revolution. What other gaming console could you actually just pick up and take with you? That's the first time it's ever been done. That's the definition of revolutionary.
Game console? You mean most handheld consoles?
No, but those aren't actual real consoles. Those are handhelds. Those are specifically made to be handheld. The Switch is for your TV, and you can just take it outside. Understand? So yeah,
the Vita, but Sony didn't say yes to the whole HDMI thing.
You know what I'm saying? Exactly.
That sucks.
Exactly. Sony could have done it first, but Nintendo did it. So yes, Brett, by your definition, that is a revolution. Because what else did it before? What else did it before?
The Nomad and the Turbo Express did it before.
Did
but
they?
It just didn't take off. Yeah, Turbo Express was the Turbo Graphics. It was handheld.
Yeah, and you could literally use the same games from your TurboGrafx 16 on your handheld.
And I think you could output it to your TV.
Oh, okay.
The iPad. The iPad.
I like everybody.
I think you're trolling now, Carlos.
You're trolling right now. Okay, you know what? Sega Nomad, and you could plug it to your TV too, right?
Yep, you can plug the Nomad.
Okay, never mind. Switch didn't revolutionize it then. Sega Nomad.
It's just like
Switch
how
popularized it though.
Yeah,
it's just like how
it's working now. Yeah.
It's just like how the PlayStation 4. Well, everybody thinks the PlayStation 4 was the first console to be able to put headphones into the jack and listen to the video games. 3DO bitches.
Yeah.
Genesis had a headphone jack.
Yeah, in the console.
Can you say something revolutionized the industry though if it had no lasting effect?
That's a good question. That's a good question.
And that's where and good bet. That's a good point. That's where it ties up both things.
Yeah, but it's a difference. Saying revolutionize the industry and it is a revolution are two different things. Understand? Like Sega Nomad is a revolution, right? But it's didn't revolutionize the industry. Understand what I'm saying? Like the words, the way you use the words are important here. Like the Switch is not a revolution in the thing it built, but it is in the way it made it popular. You know what I'm saying? But then that goes back to it: is it revolution or is it influential? But then again, can it be influential if something hasn't done it yet? Like again, Breath of the Wild, like you're saying that mechanic is influential. Name me 3 games that have done it because of Breath of the Wild specifically. And I don't count Assassin's Creed because I think Assassin's Creed was being made independent of it.
There was enough popularization and hype around the climbing mechanics that I'm pretty sure they just looked at the Assassin's Creed guys and went, "Can you make that happen?" They went, "Oh yeah, that's fucking easy."
Are you sure about no, Brett? Game development doesn't work like that, bro. Game development does not work like that.
Just turn off all the handhold and then make it stick to the walls.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't work like that.
I'm not agreeing with you, bro.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding.
Yeah. So yeah.
No, I
Oh, the share button. Hold
so
on a second. That is revolutionary.
the share button. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. See, there you go. That's revolutionary. Yeah, my terminology is very simple. If that shit ain't done before, that's revolutionary.
So, a lot of the things that you seem to consider revolutionary aren't game related, though.
What do you mean?
You know, you're talking about approach to gaming and things like that. You know, share buttons and headphone jacks or
that's because let's just be honest. Games themselves have not been revolutionary for fucking years. That's why I said you get it. Maybe a game revolution, maybe every 10 years or so. Games are basically the same. They haven't, especially this generation. We're basically just an extended version of last generation. If you really think about it, you know, there's been no real gaming. There's been no revolution within actual games themselves that I've seen.
And that's where I come. Like I have a hard time with this because, like for example, the whole battle royale thing. Like let's say PUBG was the first one, right? That like caused a craze. Then I would think that revolutionized the industry.
It was ARC. It was ARC. I can't listen to the misinformation anymore. It was ARC.
He's just giving a hypothetical, man.
But it wasn't innovative, like you know.
Innovative,
like
man.
It's innovative.
Whatever. So that like it didn't innovate anything. It just did something and made it super super popular. But it influenced the whole industry.
Yeah, that's influence. Yeah.
So it's like that's where I have a hard time sort of trying to define it.
Well, yeah, because I go with revolutionary or not influential as kind of part of revolutionary because it has to be influential in order for it to have revolutionized anything. And I think anything that gets picked up in standard practice, like I swore up and down years ago, and I still do, that DayZ, despite it being a failure of a game, was revolutionary for the industry in terms of the seeds that it planted and the new types of games that it spawned. The exact reason that you're fucking seeing this battle royale shit right now.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Yeah,
directly because of that. Yeah. Now,
by the way, I laugh because Xskull said Overwatch. That shit ain't revolutionary, man. That's Team Fortress, son.
Yeah.
You know. Anyway, so I'm sorry, but I just had to laugh at that. I'm like, come on, son.
Right. No, you bring up a good point. Like Team Fortress, I would consider revolutionary. I mean, it didn't necessarily change the way we approach gaming, you know, in this big grandiose sense, but it definitely set the standard for almost all games that came after it. And anything that changes that standard, I would consider to have revolutionized the direction of gaming or influenced the direction of gaming. I use them interchangeably. The answers are way more fun that way, too.
Black Metal Gamer, you crazy. He says Battle Royale is gay. Tell us how you really feel, bro. Yeah, we're on overtime. We closed down the shop like 40 minutes ago, man. We ain't taking no more questions. Matter of fact, I think we're done here. We went super overtime. This ain't even a special episode.
Yeah, so expect the timestamps to be on like tomorrow, probably.
Exactly. You ain't getting no timestamps anytime soon, bitches. Yeah, Titanfall didn't revolutionize. So get out of here, man. You guys are trolling right now.
Good thing Adam's not here.
Yeah, you know, that shit, yo,
bro.
Oh man, all right, guys. So thank you for watching. Oh fuck, hold on. Excuse me. Well, hold on a second. Hold on a second. Manny, we got something coming this week, man.
Yes, we do.
We got motherfucking Comic-Con.
We got the New York Comic-Con.
All right, so tell the people where they can find you, man.
So yes, as always, I will be a stationary point in the Artist Alley. So this time Artist Alley is actually in a slightly different place, a lot bigger place than last year. So there's going to be a lot of people there. And yeah, I am going to be at Artist Alley table G15. That's once you walk in, you just keep walking straight and you'll find me and Kari Randolph. We'll be selling you some stuff, kissing babies, shaking hands, doing pounds. Good stuff.
Is it back in the other area again?
We are inside. We're in the lower level of the Jacob Javits Center, but we're on the opposite side of all the. We're on the opposite side of where the main theater is inside of there. So there's a waiting area. There's the Artist Alley, and then there's the what do they call the screening rooms?
Oh, so, check this out. Hey, Red Infamy, who are you interviewing? She says, "Get ready for your interview from me." Okay.
Whoa, whoa, whoa!
Yeah. I'm guessing it's you. So get ready for that.
Yeah, drop by the table. You got to talk to me, and you got to talk to Car. We've been doing some cool shit. Car, we worked on Mosaic for Marvel, and we got some cool stuff coming up we can't talk about yet.
Yeah, Barry Burton, who will be there too. He goes, "Mandy, do you have any snack requests?"
I don't have any snack requests. I'm good with anything. I'm not picky, just as long as it doesn't have any raisins in it.
Man, I'm looking forward to that interview now. Red Infamy does dope fucking interviews, man. As for me, I'll be there starting Thursday through Saturday. I'm probably going to take Sunday off. But Saturday is going to be my free day. So if you want to see me, because I'm going to be around, hit me up on Twitter, at Romudeth, ROMUDTH. Hit me up and I'll try to find you, man.
Or you could just you could just say, hey, I'm going to be at the table.
I may do that. I may do that. I may like stay by Manny's table for like an hour. Like, yo, listen, I'm gonna be here from whatever o'clock to whatever o'clock, because I'm gonna be that day. I'm specifically making it my artist alley day. Me and Jeffrey, we're gonna be down there. So yeah, for that 1 hour or so, I'm like, listen, I'm gonna be at artist alley. If you want to see me, I'll be there. Thursday, Friday, you're probably not gonna see me. I'm just being real.
Like, man.
Yeah, I'm just gonna do what I did last year. I go to my appointments and dip. But I'll be there Saturday, Sunday. Nah. I think is I've been to enough of these Comic Cons. I don't need to go to anymore. See, Brett, that's changed for me. Comic Con has completely lost its luster.
Yeah, because we went from not having any Comic Cons in New York to having probably the biggest comic convention in.
Yeah, that I got burnt out on. Like video games, they didn't get burnt out. Comic Con, I'm like, man, I'm just gonna go there, do my work, and I'm done. Even if I was like a regular fan, I'd be like, man, I don't know if I'm gonna go this year.
Man, I don't know if I want to go back to San Diego Comic Con. That thing has just become a monster.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like Comic Con, but it'll be if you guys want to come through, check us out. That'll be great. Especially Manny, he'll be there the whole time.
I'll be there the whole time, so you can say what's up.
Crazy, right? So, also, usually for Comic-Con, we have Throwdown on Wednesday, just so me and Manny could be on, but we got Carlos now, so Throwdown will be on Thursday night as always, excuse me? I probably may be able to host it. We'll see what happens. If I don't have to go to any parties or nothing, I'll probably just be here. Manny won't, obviously, for obvious reasons, but
yeah, I'll be in preparation mode. I might just drop in and say what's up.
Yeah, I think I may be able to host it, but we'll see. Either way, you're gonna get the shit on Thursday night. Don't worry about that, people. You're gonna get it. It's crazy, man. We don't fuck around with the schedule no more, man. Red Infamy goes, I need to go to the Anime New York's Comic Con next NYC. Oh, Anime NYC, man, you going to that one too?
I'm doubling up because Emilio will be there too. I'll be at Anime NYC as well.
Yeah. Oh, Red, I got you, girl. I got you on that. I got invited to a couple parties. I'll let you know. I'll forward you some emails.
Sounds good.
Yeah, and we're going to see Hip Hop over there with his crazy ass, And then my usual comic conference that I only see once a year at Comic-Con,
Oh, yeah.
The like film dudes and stuff. It's pretty funny. By the way, quick thing, the guy I was sitting next to at for Transformers, I met him at Comic-Con too. I just didn't realize it until after we figured out this on Twitter. I was like, oh shit, we do know each other.
Oh, you're that guy. Oh, so you didn't go to a local theater. You went to the city, didn't you?
Yeah, man, I wanted to have fun, Yeah, Carl, we answered your question like an hour ago, brother.
Run that back.
And we're gonna see Carl there too.
Carl.
It's gonna be crazy, man. All right, we're
gonna see Carl.
You crazy. All right, now we're really ending this fucking show, man. Thank you for watching and listening. Leave us your questions in the comment section of this episode here on YouTube or over on the Coalition, and we'll answer them on next week's show. Subscribe to Throwdown on SoundCloud, iTunes, and YouTube. Follow us on Twitch, Mixer, Twitter, Facebook, and Periscope at Throwdown Show. Links are located in the description below. Once again, I was your host, Tony Polanco. Time joined by Emilio Lopez.
Thank you for joining us, and hope to see you next week at New York Comic Con.
Chris Seeley.
Hey, take care, everyone.
Carlos Romero.
Yo, man, thank you for joining, and I will not see you at New York Comic Con.
Brett Murdoch. It's been real, party people.
Later, pod people.
Yeah, what he said.
And Brian Manjoma.
I'm sure that PUBG was like the first Battlegrounds game.
God damn it,
Brian.
Brian.
It is the first Battlegrounds game.
All right, guys. We'll see you on Thursday, man. Later.
Later, guys.
Lead
Deuces.